All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of a Throwback Thursday on the channel. And today we will be rewatching the inaugural NASCAR Cup Series race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And not just any Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but remember, it is flat Las Vegas. Honestly, this track put on some pretty good racing at times. This is my first ever time watching this specific race. I don't think I've watched a Las Vegas race that I can remember earlier than like 2002, 2003. I was born in 1999, so this race obviously took place before that. But obviously, my years of remembering watching NASCAR, I couldn't tell you, races I remember too vividly from like 2000, 2003 or so. This isn't one of the tracks that, like, on my own time, even before I started the YouTube channel and started these Throwback Thursday live streams, that I went back and necessarily watched old Vegas races. It wasn't really a track that I would go back and rewatch. So this race actually won by a landslide. 53% of the votes, just to refresh, actually 52% of the votes said 1998 this week, so well over half. And there were 4 other choices. They were all in the teens. Other choices were 2006, 08, and 2014. So 153 votes. Thanks for everybody voting in the polls this week. Again, you can vote every Monday on the channel for the community tab, and the poll stays up for the next few days after Monday, but I usually upload it on Monday, and we'll see what race we watch next week for Phoenix. But as far as this week goes, yeah, 1998 Las Vegas 400. Let's get into this one. I do know who won this race, but I have no clue what happens throughout the course. I have no clue what the margin of victory is either, who finished second. I only know the winner just based off of historical purposes, and that would be it for me. But let's get into it. I think my volume is muted. Hang on. My volume isn't muted, but the this is, and that would be it for me. But now I'm echoing. Let's get into it. Mute that. Thanks for everybody tuning in, by the way.
Only at 12 degrees, Benny, but because it's so wide, we see great competition.
It's the second race from 1998 we're watching. We watched the 1998 Daytona 500 pretty early in the offseason. I think that was only like the 3rd or 4th Throwback Thursday stream I started. We were watching all the Daytona 500 races. We watched, what, 10 of them? That was like the 3rd one I got voted.
6 Pontiacs, and right now Chevrolet leads
18 Chevys, 10 Fords, 10 Pontiacs.
By 8. Let's take a look now at the starting grid for today's race. On the pole,
Dale Jarrett on the pole, Jeff Bodine, pretty good qualifying spot.
Alongside the driver who finished 4th at the Rock last week, Jeff Bodine. Row number 2, Lord Burton and Bill Elliott, who finished 6th.
Speed isn't really that fast. I know it's a flat mile and a half, but
Jeff Gordon, the winner of the
166 mile an hour average
at California, and Rick Mast,
like a 32-second lap
last week. Mark Martin starts
on a freshly paved surface too.
He finished 3rd at Rockingham, and Joe Nemechek, who won the pole for the inaugural race in California. The 5th row will be Jerry Cope on the inside, and Rusty Wallace, the current points leader. Row number 6, Bobby Labonte finished 2nd at Daytona, and Dick Trickle. The 7th row.
Oh, this is the second race of the season, I think.
Row number
I don't know. He
8,
said runner-up at Daytona. It makes me think it was
Benson, the 9th row,
week
Chad
before.
Little, and
Yeah, I have no
Irvin.
clue
Chad
exactly
Little
what race this was.
Will start at the rear of the field. The 10th row, Ricky Rudd and Robert Presley.
Obviously, they usually went out west right after Daytona or soon after. They used to race Rockingham second, though, for a while. I don't know if that was the case in 98. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, Earl Arnold Jr., Wade Zielinski, Noah Coleman, Stu Isaac, John David, and others welcome into the stream.
Earnhardt, and the champion from 2 years ago, Terry Labonte, is back in the 28th starting position.
The reason NASCAR uses 2 pace cars on this parade lap is so that drivers can check their pit road speed. These pace cars are traveling at 45 miles per hour.
David Green in a Caterpillar 96 car. I don't think I've ever seen that number with that paint scheme ever in my life.
Here you see the drivers who took provisionals to get into the lineup, including
I had no clue that was a
Ricky
thing.
and Steve Grissom, also Bobby Hamilton
started pretty
and Bud
deep.
Strickland. There
Bobby
was
Hamilton
no
started
previous
deep in the field.
champion that had not made the field, and so the
Lake
7th
Speed bringing up
provisional
the
and the
rear.
43rd and final starting position
I want to
goes
pause it to see the
Lake
list
Speed.
of drivers who
There
missed.
were a number of drivers who came here, tried to qualify, but were unsuccessful.
Steve Park failed to qualify for this race. Wow. Jerry Nadeau failed to qualify. Tony Raines. I had no clue Tony Raines even attempted to run Cup races back in 1998. I don't remember hearing his name in NASCAR till like the early to mid 2000s. I had no clue his NASCAR career was well before that. Todd Bodine failed to qualify. Dave Marcus, Gary Bradbury, Butch Gilliland, and Larry Gunzelman. But yeah, there's a couple of bigger names that failed to qualify in the first three. Oh, this is the third. This is the third race. So Todd Bodine failed to qualify in the first three races. Eesh. 1998. That's rough.
Successful. There's the rundown. And
that's crazy.
Todd
Steve
Bodine
Park
and Gary Bradbury so far have not qualified for the first.
I always see like one big name, like every single race when you have these huge entry fees. It ends up missing the race, especially this early in the season too, because owner points.
Let's take a look at
locking you in top 35. I think at this time.
267 laps. That equals 400.5 miles.
I think it goes off the season before though for the first like 5 races. So if that, I think this was the first year of the one car for DEI, if I'm not mistaken. So that car probably didn't have any owner points the season before, which made it much difficult for him to qualify in on time.
Mike Skinner doing the same thing. All cars weaving back and forth.
If I remember correctly, I think that's how it worked.
Greg Sachs back in
for the first 5
car,
races.
doing exactly the same thing.
Now we're on board with
Rusty Wallace in
the Miller Lite
a while ago.
Car carrying
I mean, 25 years ago. It's literally 25 years ago this weekend, I think.
Bill Elliott will also carry.
Considering this is the third race of the year, it's the third race of the season.
Pretty well covered from
1998 also.
Jeff Bodine, who starts up on the outside of row
yeah, I have no
one,
clue what happens in this
also
one.
has a camera. You can see
other
Dale
than
Jarrett there
knowing who won the race, but
Jeff.
zero idea.
Dale has won the
Same distance it would be today.
today's
400
race.
miles,
Rusty Wallace comes into this
267
event on
miles.
top of the point standings with the Daytona
Rusty
500
Wallace with
winner,
the early points.
33
You know what?
behind
This
the
is actually kind of cool
winner.
too. I don't like pausing it usually during this. I don't even know why I'm pausing it. We're going to be streaming for a couple hours here. But I like how it shows the point standing. So every time we go to a new race, we get to see like who was leading in points at this specific time for whatever year at what track we're watching. So that's kind of cool. Rusty got the early jump out in 1998.
You talk about gambling in Vegas, they're going to gamble for 400 miles on an engine that they have not practiced. Bob?
Well,
Flipped at Bristol in
Elliott
97.
hopes that the tradition continues. So far this year, both races have been won by the driver starting in 4th position. That's where Bill will take the green flag in a matter of moments. The pace car in turn number 4 makes the hard left turn and comes to pit road.
We're seeing seats at Vegas all the way out turn 4.
Here, the race was sold out in less than a day. They're set for racing at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the green flag waves.
Sea of white. Like everybody decided to wear white. It's like a whiteout. Reminds me of like Penn State home games or something like that. Don't they play like home night games? It's always a whiteout. Notorious for it. I only know that because my favorite team's in the Big Ten. I think that's what they do. Or maybe it's just any game that they're playing a big opponent. I don't know. Oh man, almost contact there. First lap.
Very quickly,
Bill Elliott and I couldn't tell who was underneath him. Was it 7 at the time? Jeff Bodine. Oh, that was Ward Burton, my bad. Jeff's still in 2nd.
Right position at this racetrack is going
ABC covering this race, by the way.
gain a couple of spots early on. You want to take every advantage.
Which I think is weird.
These two cars running side by
Because we
side.
watched the 1990. Oh, that's right. Mike Joy was commentating that. Okay. I was gonna say. I was like, why is Bob Jenkins still commentating? I've had my years mixed up there for a second. It's like I thought Bob Jenkins worked for CBS. No, he worked for like TNN, I think, at this time. I guess ESPN. Also, Dr. Jerry Punch might have came along just after this on the ESPN side of things. This is the first race, by the way, we're watching an ESPN coverage race as far as the Throwback Thursdays go.
These cars will go down to the very bottom of the racetrack at the start-finish line. Now back up to the outside retaining wall.
I'm going to turn the audio up a little bit on mine.
Goes on behind him, Dale Jarrett. Now
let me know if the audio is good for you guys and if you guys can still hear me clearly also.
We'll see what these cars can achieve on this racetrack.
We saw the Jeff Mark Martin's touching the brakes going into turn 3. He was able to get to about 170 miles per hour.
A lot of brakes here. I mean, he was only topping out at like, what, 161? One point in the corner.
Car does not push up the racetrack.
Granted, he's side by side with another car too. Oh, we already got a crash. Ricky Craven. We just won a Truck Series championship with this guy last night. They didn't even throw a caution for that. What? I mean, I guess he was at the tail end of the field, but there's no debris or anything. He must not have hit. I thought he hit the wall, honestly, when it first happened. There's no caution. NASCAR would have thrown the yellow within like 2 seconds. As soon as they wouldn't have even have to see a car. They saw smoke, they would have thrown caution.
We have a replay. We can see what happens in the middle of your screen. Watch it.
There's no yellow for that.
And looks like that Chad Little is going to just touch Ricky Craven in the left rear. And guess what?
Chad Little was on the apron when he made contact with Ricky Craven. I don't know what he was doing there. Why was he so low on the racetrack?
And continues on.
Here's the onboard lake speed camera.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to tell from that angle. Maybe he wasn't on the apron. The other angle looked like he was on the apron. He definitely got into him, though.
Lake made the right one.
There was definitely contact. Maybe he was holding them up and they all ran him over. I don't know.
Wrong way, you're in the crash.
Yeah, no caution.
Number 18, Dick Trickle is up on the high side in car number 90.
Keep it green.
99. Johnny Benson in the Cheerios-sponsored car number 26.
When do you see a spin on a mile and a half like that with no caution?
13th and 14th. Mark, meanwhile, is
that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
And now Ward Burton is running second to Dale Jarrett, who has led the race.
I don't know if it was a good call or a bad call, honestly. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, there was nobody else in the way. You would think they would have thrown the caution immediately because there were so many cars around them, but I think by the time they saw him sitting there and started to get rolling, there was nobody else there. So that's probably why they didn't throw the yellow. Nobody had eyes on the spin until after everybody was clear. I mean, this is a day and age where they would race back to the line anyway, but still.
That's 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. There's the interval that Dale Jarrett has built up here.
I King Drive 2, thanks for tuning in.
Officially, it's 29/100ths of a second. We'll be back with more.
By the way, SMIFF TV is where I'm watching this.
The Las Vegas 400 on ABC Sports.
The scene is Las
So
Vegas.
subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He's got a bunch of old NASCAR races on his channel.
Miles to the northeast of downtown Las Vegas.
Kind of watch the same races on, or the races on like the same 3 or 4 channels. I upload them.
He is currently
Pretty
in the
cool.
last position,
Be able to
43rd
do
as a
this.
result of this.
This is Ricky
Mark DeMars, welcome in.
Onboard camera goes to the corner, backs off the gas. Ricky Craven, I'm sorry, I said Ricky Rudd. Right about right there, he gets a little bump. He tries to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he did anything wrong there. I mean, he's just got ran over. Great save, though. Great save.
Keeping it away from the wall. Here's Bill Weber.
Those tires have to be absolutely shot right now. I don't think he pitted.
Of the race, but his crew chief Tony Furr says they are okay.
Bill Weber worked for ESPN.
This is a 400-mile race.
This is news to me. I mean, I guess he had to get his start somewhere.
Well, that's something you see at every
I would assume he was
racetrack,
probably
so
working
it's just
before
gonna be
NBC started. I just had no clue
Position
who he
is
worked
so
for.
important. You got to take those chances.
You learn something new every day. I'll tell you what, this race is full of surprises in the first like 10 laps. We had a spin with no caution in the middle of to the tail end of the field. What else happened? I found out Bill Weber worked for ESPN. I didn't know that. Got confused at first that Bob Jenkins was calling the race and that it was on ESPN because for whatever reason I kind of forgot he had worked for him. I just always correlated him with TNN and CBS.
And Benny, the drivers were talking before the race about the weather conditions.
I should have known that.
And they ran in happy
Just something that slipped by
in the cool of the day. And when shadows were across this track, we have a completely different weather scenario here.
And that's what Jeff Ford and Ray Evernham were concerned about in our pre-race show on ESPN2 about the weather change.
Dr. Jerry Punch.
This morning, Mark Martin was talking about, ordinarily Mark is very stoic, very down to those chances in a race on Sunday. But the crew asked him, Mark, how about today? And Mark said, let me tell you something, guys. If we don't have a mechanical failure or a miscue in the pits, we will win the Las Vegas 400. Jimmy Finney, the crew chief, said, you mean the car is that good?
Mark Martin demanding
it is awesome
that he will win.
There is Jimmy Finney. You know, I've talked to several drivers.
Is he on a spotter stand?
One concern that they had about the racetrack is
he's confused.
The transition so good they couldn't.
I'm not used to not seeing like any sort of a tent over top of the pit boxes.
Make changes if the car slowed down and said, whoops, we went the wrong way, and go the other direction. When we asked Mark Martin that yesterday afternoon in happy hour, he said, I can feel my car.
By the way, I have no clue what the temperature is in this race. I saw something flash up at about 47 degrees, but I think that's wherever this race was aired.
And that is very, very valuable.
That doesn't seem right. I know it was 48 in Fontana this weekend, but something tells me that Las Vegas, even in early March,
we're talking about they were not happy with the weather change.
Typically this
They kind of
cold.
rolled the dice a little bit. And Benny, they've got what they're calling the car being very, very tight. And you know that means when you turn the car, it doesn't want to hold the line. It wants to go out to
Notice
the
Rick Masters going backwards. He was in 6th, now he's back to 10th.
During the first pit stop right now,
Bodine's
they're
already
gonna
falling
settle
outside the
for
top
what
10
they got on
too.
Jeff Bodine as well. I asked the crew chief, what's wrong? He said, Bodine has not said a word since the drop of the green flag.
Jeff Bodine has fallen back to 11th position.
That's strange.
After his start up on the front
Yeah,
row
he started
alongside
2nd,
Dale
fell back to
Jarrett.
11th, but he hasn't said anything on the radio yet. Like, obviously something, you would expect him to say something so they can try to make some adjustments, but when he comes to pit road, he's just falling back.
We'll jump on board with him.
Maybe he's just so ticked off that he's just holding it all back. He knows the minute he opens his mouth, it's just going to be a long rant. It's not going to be any good for anybody.
83, 84, 8500 RPM.
Okay, that speedometer's got to be all over the place because they had Mark Martin going like 161 into turn 1 earlier, and they have Rusty going like 180 plus. That seems more accurate because Mark Martin's leading, so obviously he's got a fast car. By the way, he got to the lead very quickly. I don't think they showed the pass for the lead either. He was side by side with, I think, Bodine in the early going. He must have taken the lead during the commercial break. As far as they haven't showed a replay of it, honestly. Unless he hasn't taken the lead yet, it looked like he was.
Speculation there could be an early problem for Jeff Green. He's told his crew he feels he may have a tire going down. So Green, middle of the pack, maybe one of the
3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide at Flat Vegas. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. There's no way. Okay, he backed out of it. I was going to say, at a flat track like this, there's no way they can go 3 wide. We saw Craven spin after contact leader side by side, let alone 3 wide. Oh my gosh.
91 car, the unsponsored car. That team was lucky to get here until their truck sitting in a truck stop somewhere in Arizona. Another truck backed in.
By the way, who's in the unsponsored 91 car? I'm trying to figure out who that is. I have zero clue.
Rusty Wallace is challenging now Bill Elliott.
Waiting for it to pop back up on the leaderboard. Oh, that's Kevin LePage.
The leader of the race.
Kevin LePage, Michael Waltrip battling for position.
And by the way, Dale Jarrett has gone back into the lead, passing Mark Martin.
David's still sitting in last after that spin. Poor guy. At least it cost you. He could have put tires on and got caught back up. He was like a half a lap behind everybody. His tires are probably shot.
Rusty Wallace giving Elvis Presley a ride around today. The hood of that Ford Thunderbird, Ford Taurus, I should say.
Bill Campbell, thanks for tuning in. C. Will also welcome in.
Martin on the right, and here is how Jarrett got the lead from Mark just a couple
Stay
laps
safe,
ago.
Dale.
He comes off the
Tornado
corner, gets a
in Texas.
great run off the corner. Mark sees that great run and says, hey, I think I'll just let it go by.
Mark just surrendering the lead.
So Dale Jarrett reassumes the lead.
Yeah, so Mark was leading. Jarrett out front again.
From the pole position.
Watching the 6 and the 88 go back and forth in the early going.
Falling behind 3 or 4 car lengths and then going back up and repassing. After all, it's not a lot of fun to ride around this racetrack by yourself in front. It's a lot of fun passing cars. But that's what Mark wants to do.
Mark's a lot lower in the corner than Dale. He's like right on the white line. It looked like Dale was about a half a lane off, maybe.
And has gained 22 positions, moving to 16th in the current point standings.
This honestly doesn't feel like Vegas just compared to what we're used to now. It almost feels like we're just watching a random NASCAR race at a foreign track.
Time of the season is 6th.
Just some random racetrack. I'm just so accustomed to banked Vegas. I know I've watched races at Flat Vegas before.
After just 2 races.
It's just been so long.
Rusty Wallace, meanwhile, is marching to the front. He's battling with Ward Burton in the number 22 car.
Robert, Sean Royer, thanks for tuning in.
And Rusty has it.
You were here this day. Awesome, man.
See Johnny Benson back there, the yellow Cheerios car.
That's a pretty cool accolade.
Just 2 seconds behind the leader.
Been to the first NASCAR race at a specific track. I mean, I guess I was at the first race at Gateway, so if they stay at Gateway for a long period of time, I can say I was there. I was there that day, and they sold out. 2022.
You're right, Bill Elliott is using that.
I think that's the only track I've ever been to that it was like the first race. Well, I mean, technically. Well, no. I'm trying to think. I gotta think about. Well, Indy Road Court. No, I wasn't there the first year. Wait, was I? Yeah, 2021 Indy Road Course, but that's a little different though. They're already racing at Indy.
Looks like those
25 plus years.
might hook up and go around.
And I had been to the Brickyard 400 before that too.
We're talking about this racetrack. It's very wide and they can really run around the racetrack about any place. Obviously, if the car is perfect from both sides, it's the best, and they'll get the shortest distance around the racetrack. But if you
I like that Cheerios paint scheme, by the way. Simple, but it works. Cheerios has always had some pretty good paint schemes, though. Even though they're basic, I don't know what I like about them. Maybe it's because I like Cheerios. Maybe that has a lot to do with it.
He finished 30th at Rockingham last week.
Bill Elliott's going backwards, though, by the way.
Well, here the team and hopes to get his season on track.
He was up in the top 10 at the start, too. Him and Jumbo 9 are just going absolutely backwards right now.
Why he did not make the
They're in dire need of a caution to get to pit road.
If you are a new team, you do not have any point standings, of course, from the previous year, and that is what provisional positions are based upon.
Good battle, though.
they could not get the tires up to speed to have that.
I mean, Bill Elliott's hanging in tough on the outside. Finally gave it up. He's staying high. He had a chance to get back down to the bottom behind him. He's getting a good drive off again, though. Maybe that's what he's finding out on the outside. Get down in front of Jeff Burton, maybe?
He's currently in 7th. The first Chevrolet is...
He could have if he wanted to. Maybe he's just trying to keep out the clean air. I have no clue. He's just going to let Jeff Burton go, too.
The 99 car on the inside of Bill Elliott.
He's standing on the outside of Burton. I thought he was just going to let him go. I'm confused at why Bill...
And Bill Elliott is not going to give way to Jeff that easy.
Bob
Jenkins was a little confused, too.
I'll tell you what, Jerry Pope reported that they changed engines in that 94 car. It could be that there's a line just a little bit loose.
Oh, man, what a dive bomb by Rusty. It looked like he sailed it off into the corner. Either that or Mark Martin just didn't take in corner entry very well. Mark Martin was talking about how good his car is like 20 laps ago. he's not even leading the race anymore.
And here goes Rusty Wallace for the lead.
Wow, and he quickly he is able to drive it so much deeper into the corner than everybody else. It's crazy, though, because when you see drivers do that, they usually can't pick the throttle back up as quickly, so then the driver who doesn't get into the corner quite as well is going to accelerate quicker off. Rusty's just... He's gripping up so well. I granted, it's a freshly paved surface, but still. I mean, 32 laps in. Imagine there'd have to be some sort of tire fall off on a flat track like this, especially on that right front. Roush dominated at this track. Yeah, I can't really think of many of the winners after this one.
This year, they're hungrier than ever.
remember Kenseth having some good runs here in the early
Las Vegas
2000s.
400 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The lead has changed again. That car on the left of your screen,
Johnny Benson out in front. How about Johnny?
And the overhead shots are courtesy of the Penn.
Felt like he passed Bill Elliott not that long ago, and all of a sudden he's in the lead.
Speedway. Let's see how Johnny Benson got the lead away from Rusty Wallace.
Let's go, Johnny.
He was down in turns 1 and 2, and he got position on the outside. Came up on the outside. Rusty could do nothing. Otherwise, they were going to crash. He gave him the line, and Benson took the lead. Johnny Benson looking strong.
It's weird how he surrendered the lead so easily, but he's not going backwards. He's just right there with
back to 21st position.
What? Jeff Gordon in 21st in 1998. What the heck's going on? Is this real?
We told you about the fact that he had a push. Well, now at the halfway mark,
I mean, he'll get it going eventually. It's still very early. They haven't even had a pit stop yet.
They've talked about it already on the radio. What they want to do during that first pit stop. Meanwhile,
that's strange. You'd be loose on a track this flat.
That the car is loose going into the corner.
This flat and this new.
Position with the front end, but coming out of the corner, it's very, very tight. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
Jack, very similar down here in the Mark Martin pits. This is the warmest day we have had since we've been in Las Vegas, approximately 15 degrees warmer than any day all week long. Mark Martin complaining that his car is very, very loose as well. About 5 laps ago, the car wanted to slide sideways in the corner. They plan on making an air pressure adjustment in the right rear. Now, likewise, the same thing happened to Bill Elliott about 10 laps ago. You saw a puff of smoke from Elliott's car. The crew thought it might be engine, but Bill said on the radio it was just the car sliding in the corner. His car has gotten very, very loose in McDonald's Ford. They plan on taking a rubber out of the right rear on their schedule.
I guess with it being sunny, it must be warmer too. That could obviously make way for the track being slick. I don't know why I wasn't really factoring that until just now.
Loss of power. At first they thought it was ignition. He changed ignition boxes. Most of these cars carry two. That
it's weird seeing an 8 car that isn't Dale Jr. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm already kind of used to 8 car at RCR, just with Reddick running it the last handful of years, the last few years before Kyle Busch. I tend to think that the 8 car didn't exist before Dale Jr. Honestly.
The leader of the 2 car rather of Rusty Wallace. Here comes another member of the
Jeff
Roush
Burton.
gang. That's Jeff Burton at number 99.
Couple Roush cars up there.
Leads, and Mark Martin is coming up now to challenge.
Jack Roush has 3 cars, 5 cars I should say, in this race today. The 3 of the first 4 are Roush cars.
I didn't realize that 26 was a Roush. Well, I guess that makes sense. McMurray was in the 26.
However, he does not have a driver.
I didn't realize that was a Roush car, though.
Honestly. At this time of the season, that's the first time that has happened since Dover of 1996. Where are the Roush cars running? Well, read them down. Chad Little, 12th in points, running in 36th position.
See, Mark Martin is running in 4th. He's 16th currently in points. Musgrave 30th in the points.
Johnny Benson's 40th in points. He's leading the race. He must have had a terrible first 2 races. I wonder if he maybe failed to qualify one of them.
He was the leader of the race there a few laps ago. He became
I shouldn't laugh. I'm pretty.
all 3 races.
Anybody watch our NASCAR 22 season right now? I'm pretty far back in the point standings after 3 races.
This race. We talk about drivers who perform well.
I haven't put them in order yet, but I will tell you that I am getting beat by some drivers I shouldn't be getting beat by. Even though I'm in underfunded equipment.
Back in 19.
I scored 37 points the first 3 races. I'm definitely outside the top 25. It's not all my fault, though. Michigan, we would have had a guaranteed top 10 if the game didn't glitch when I tried to make a green flag stop the other night. That was fun.
Rusty's he goes up the hill. I think that Rusty's car probably looks like it's a little loose. It's hard to tell.
That's crazy how
one of 2 problems. Obviously,
everybody's just kind of trading the lead back and forth.
The back end is
There's been a lot of lead changes so far. But it's strange because the car will start off good in the short run, and then they'll start to come together by the end of the run. Oh my gosh, Jeff Burton.
Winston Cup circuit in 1998.
I thought he was going to make contact there with Johnny. Johnny didn't let him in.
Goes to the lead, passing Johnny Benson.
Once he got like half a car underneath him, he got to let him go.
The first race at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Top 4 cars are all right there. Oh man, Rusty got really loose there. Big wiggle. Mark up to 3rd. He might get to 2nd real quick. Johnny must not have gotten off turn 4 very well either. But I mean, like, Mark Martin was leading, fell back to 4th, and in the same run with no pit stops.
Jerry Punch has more.
It's like right there, about to take second again.
Fourth place car right now.
Well, Benny, we can make it unanimous.
Same kind of goes for Dale Jarrett too, because he was leading, qualified on the pole, fell back to fifth. Now he's working forward again. And Rusty wasn't good on the short run, got to the lead on the long run, and now he's fading again. It's kind of a weird race so far. I should have known it was going to be a weird race, knowing there's a spin a couple laps in with no caution.
Trying to adjust their cars to fit the conditions and the racetrack here today.
But you see, it's not so bad for these guys.
Joe Nemechek's up to 7.
Dale Jarrett trying to work his way back to the front as he takes over the pit stop. For the pit stop, these guys, they've got to make minor changes. They can do this with air pressure, changing a spring, the jack loading spring, or the stabilize the rear panhard bar. Jeff Gordon has fallen all the way back to 22nd. He has to make major changes. Under the green flag, they can't do that without losing a lap.
But don't count Jeff Gordon out, because he did the same thing last week at Rockingham. But one time it appeared that he was off.
Didn't Garrett Cope qualify top 10 also, and he's already back to 39th?
On the car, and they got it right for the final few laps.
I just got to notice that.
To victory.
Everybody that qualified well is kind of falling back. Well, not everybody, but there's quite a few.
Strickland has gone behind the wall.
Where'd Jeff Bodine fall to? He qualified second.
He lost 3 laps.
He is 20th. From second to 20th at the start of the race. I mean, it's kind of like Christopher Bell this last weekend. Honestly, started on the... Well, he didn't qualify there, though. That's a little different. Because qualifying got rained out. Rained him draw. He started on the front row, but then he's kind of hovering between like 17th to 20th most of the race before he got in that crash.
He started in 30th position. John Andretti did, and he's currently running in 12th spot.
Patty Rumby Creations, thanks for tuning in. Thursday already. Yes, it is.
In this car, back in this car, full time in 1998.
We'll be commentating the truck race tomorrow night on the channel. Late start, by the way, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be a late night for me. Thank goodness I don't work Fridays anymore. So that would make for an even longer one. I'll be energized, ready to go.
This is the Pontiac as he tries to close in on the Ford Taurus of Ricky Rudd.
Rudd running in 11th position, and John Andretti is 12th at the moment.
Man, Mike Skinner's 41st. I didn't even realize that.
Only 3.
What happened to Mike Skinner?
Right now in the
Did he pit already or something? Well, he's still in the lead lap.
We'll take a break from here in Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
After this message and a word.
Where's Dale at, by the way? I haven't even seen Dale at all either.
At Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight.
I kind of forgot he was in this race.
Network premiere of Pocahontas with brand new scenes you've never seen.
We haven't heard Dale Earnhardt at all in this race.
Estefan, Stevie Wonder, Robin Williams, and Leanne Rimes are just some of the dozens of stars who turn out for a celebration of hope for Christopher Reeve, all tonight on ABC. Here's Jerry Punch.
Pete Stokes.
First of the lead cars to make an entry on the pit road here at lap 56 is Rusty Wallace. Remember, they were going to make a track bar adjustment in the right rear, 1 round and another half. So round and a half adjustment on the track bar. Earl Barber, the Jackman, runs to the left side of the car. 1 pump, 2 pump. As the left side tires are going on. And Dale Earnhardt also on pit road.
Championship was at 10. Yeah, that's true. I kind of forgot about that starting that late. That was out in Phoenix, so I didn't really realize that. This race is a little bit longer, though, too. Otherwise, they probably would have started it at 10 also.
Let's go to Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield is on pit road. His crew cannot hear him on the radio. The engine stalled. They're trying to refire it.
Mayfield stalled the engine.
Now it's down, and Jeremy's got to refire back out into the traffic on pit road. Jackaroo.
I mean, he stalled when they were already changing the tires. It didn't really affect his pit stop, Eddie.
They also made a track bar adjustment, Jerry Punch.
And these penalties getting left side tires, and now Dale.
A lot of cars on pit road at once right now.
A lot of people complaining about the cars being loose here. As Dale comes in, will change all 4 tires. Right side tires going on.
Curious to see if Gordon's going to work his way back through the field at some point in time in this race. By the way, Dale Jarrett's been on pit road for a while, I feel like. He must have pitted after Gordon and those guys. There's no way he pitted the same lap and lost that much track position.
number 17 of Darrell Walter, and Ernie Irvin, who's sporting some new colors this weekend in the M&M sponsored car. It's just a one-race deal, normally sponsored by Skittles.
You'll see and here comes our leader, Jeff Burton.
One race deal for M&M. Is this the first ever race M&M sponsored?
And that's what the teams love to see. Get the leader in there.
One race deal for this.
All right, Jeff Burton headed.
Little did we know the impact it would have on NASCAR back in 1998.
Teammate Mark Martin were going to pit simultaneously. Martin decided to stay out to go ahead and lead. Burton in his pit. Right in front of him, the Cheerios Ford.
Like Ricky Runabout ran right into the back of Johnny Benson.
They were going to work on the right side of both those machines. They were going to make a slight adjustment on the Johnny Benson car. They thought they may have burned the right rear tire up coming all the way from 16th starting spot. Car comes on.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to rain. It actually, there's a chance of it turning to snow.
He is down and away, waiting for Johnny Benson's Cheerios car to come off the jack. He is down and away. But coming toward us.
Because earlier in the week they were calling for like 4 inches. Now it's supposed to be closer to it'll probably be like a freezing rain. Gonna be icy. Like I said, I don't have to work. So I'll be inside. Thank God I don't have to drive.
As he entered the corner, he gets the jack under the right side of the car. Great pit work on the right side. They stamp on the left. Fuel pulling in. One pump, 2 pumps from the jack. Both tires are on. Here goes the lug nuts.
How long it took to fuel the cars up. Oh no!
2 seconds, 23 seconds.
Oh, 24.9 seconds.
On the left front.
Mark was even saying on his radio, as long as we don't make any mistakes on pit road, that we're going to win this race. First pit stop, makes a mistake on pit road. He wasn't even leading when he pitted either.
He lost 6 seconds. It'll take him to retire. 100 miles to make up that difference.
Still caution free, by the way.
Charlie Bonnie was back in about 20th place. And now he's up there with Mark Martin and Jimmy Spencer.
Terry Labonte has decided to drop down and pit. The lead of the race is now held by Joe Nemechek, who has not pitted. So the driver who ran so well in yesterday's Busch Series Grand National race here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I've only had a couple races without M&Ms.
Well, Bobby should be coming in
Or
shortly
Skittles
because staying out was by design to gain 5 bonus points. They give points in NASCAR for if you lead a lap. They actually have a computer hookup here.
There you go, Joe Nemechek gets 5 bonus points.
Nemechek began to move up. As soon as he hit number 1, they said, okay, we got 5. Bring him in anytime. We're waiting for him on pit road.
He is one of 2.
He was in the top 10. I think he was around 7th last I saw.
So Joe Nemechek has the lead here of the Las Vegas 400.
Marley Good, thanks for tuning in.
Laps completed. Back in just a moment. Sports proud to be a part of the largest single-day sporting event in the history of the state of Nevada.
Wow.
The Las Vegas 400
That's
here at
actually
Las Vegas
pretty cool.
Motor Speedway. 68 laps have been completed, 199.
I mean, they didn't have any professional sports teams at this time, so that doesn't surprise me.
Burton now has about a 0.2 of a
Now they
second
have
lead over Rusty Wallace.
Golden
Dale
Knights, the
Jarrett is
Raiders.
running third, then Ward Burton and Johnny Benson.
There's see our leader as he comes up on Ricky Craven, and he's just now about to go a lap down. And I tell you what, Ricky Craven gets a call because he started at 3/4 of a lap down.
Yeah, he did. He spun early. And
I don't even think Nevada's in the Pac-10 either.
Now he's running in 34th position
Could be
and
wrong
just
on
about
that.
to be lapped by Jeff Burton. So that will put 33 cars.
I think they're Power 5 still. I think they're in the Mountain West.
That number 9 car there of Lake Speed, the Cartoon Network car, is in 33rd position. Mark Martin had indeed a problem on his pit stop. It's dropped him back to 6th position and cost him a lot of track
Way to
position
go,
out there.
guys.
The problem was on the left front of the car.
Fire.
What happens as he makes the pit stop?
Fired.
When the right side goes down and the left side starts going up, the driver gets ready to go. And see on the left front,
That'll be the last tire he changes.
this guy's looking, he's going to look at Mark. He's going to look at Mark and say, Mark, hit the brakes, hit the brakes. Mark, when the jack went up on the left side, he was getting his feet ready to accelerate when the car left, and he did not keep his foot on the brake. The hub was turning, so the guy could not slide the car.
Oh, so it wasn't his fault. It sounds like it was Mark Martin's fault for not holding the brakes.
The car was idling way too slowly that if he took his foot off the throttle and put one foot on the clutch and one foot on the brake, that the car would stall in the pit. So he had one foot on the throttle, another foot on the clutch, and was trying to get a partial foot on the brake, but he wasn't holding the brake down far enough, so the hub was spinning. It was like trying to hit a moving target. I'm trying to thread a needle that's spinning in the air. It's hard to slide it on, and that cost him 6 extra seconds because of that left front tire.
He could have employed what they use in road racing, the heel and toe there in the pits. But
He thought it was used to heel and toe, but when the left side...
So they've been trying to stay on the lead lap. He's holding Jeff Burton up because Rusty's raining him down.
And put his toe on the accelerator.
Craven's in a dire situation right now to try to hang on to his lap. At least he's got fresh tires now. I'm surprised he didn't go lap down earlier, honestly, after spinning.
Ricky Craven, meanwhile, while he's trying to get around Ricky Craven, as you can see,
Ricky is just absolutely holding Jeff.
Close the gap to just about a car.
Jeff's got a beat now. Oh, man. Aggressive side draft by Ricky. Got close to that right rear corner panel.
Fast car since he had that spin out turn number 2, but unfortunately,
I don't think Rusty's going to have a chance to get by Jeff, though, with him on the inside of the 50 like this.
Taken Burton a long time to put him down.
As we check the top 10 in the running order, we'll check the speeds at the line and see who...
I mean, they've been side by side for like 2.5 laps or so. Oh my gosh! Ricky!
Contact there.
He doesn't want to give that lap up at all. Oh, it looked like the two lost the front of his car.
Jeremy Mayfield was third. Now we'll go back to Ted Musgrave, another Roush car.
Oh, this is good for Mark Martin. Oh, Jeff's got him cleared now.
I think Jeff Burton has finally got the job done on Ricky Craven.
He does indeed. Now Rusty Wallace.
Rusty got by him so much quicker than Jeff Burton did.
Also in the 88 car. So Mark Martin trying to make up for that incident in the pit area.
In the picture
He's
now.
the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment. Still running back in 6th position, rather 5th position, and he's about 3.2 seconds behind.
Only 2 announcers in the booth? I think so. I think it's just Benny Parsons and Bob Jenkins.
Now, if we check the speed, we'll see if in fact they are the fastest car. Mark trying to go by Burton on the outside. That'll be a battle for 4th spot, and give it to Mark. Here comes Benson. And that will give him this 5th.
I haven't heard Buddy Baker's race at all.
Very good run for Johnny Benson so far in this race.
Seems like a 2-man booth to me.
There's Mike Skinner in the 31 car.
Appreciate everybody tuning in, by the way. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content.
Being shown in 35th position.
Watch some old NASCAR races every Thursday. Live commentary for the real races for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup on the weekends. That's what we'll be doing the next 3 nights. And more related NASCAR content as well. Craven's 33rd, so there's 32 cars on the lead lap.
The 88 car of Dale Jarrett now closes in on Rusty Wallace in the battle for 3rd. And
Darrell Waltrip's 2 laps down right now in 42nd.
He found that groove yesterday.
Wow, what a drive by Dale Jarrett on the outside.
He started running that groove and started passing cars and really marching to the front. And it
Outside. Look at how far off the bottom he's running even after passing the 2. I think that's how Ricky Craven was able to hold on after so long, though. That outside lane's slowly coming in. Back to the bottom in 1 and 2. I want to see if he goes back towards the outside again in 3 and 4.
Now Dale Jarrett will set his sights on the leader of the race, Jeff Burton. As Rusty Wallace is running 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, and the 5th place car is
about a half a lane off.
There are the top 10. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Las Vegas 400.
Wasn't as high as he was the lap before.
Vegas Motor Speedway, and we're 82 laps into the Las Vegas 400. These overhead shots courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam.
It's also weird not seeing the quarter-mile track in the grass either.
Facility showing us the tremendous crowd that has gathered here for this spectacular event in the city of glitz, glamour, and entertainment. And these fans being entertained today by the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. It's Jeff Burton currently leading this race over Dale Jarrett. and Rusty Wallace.
Been a good one, though.
Runs fourth and Ward Burton.
A lot of challenges for the lead.
Fifth. There's Burton, the leader, on
so
the
Jeff
right
Burton's
side
maybe
of
pulling
his
away
race. He
now.
comes up to try to put a lap down on Brett Bodine in the number 11 Paychex Ford, and right ahead of him is Steve Grissom.
You know, honestly, considering that there hasn't been any cautions, I'm surprised that Ford drivers aren't a lap down. Oh, we've gone all the way through a full green flag run. Or, not green flag run, pit stop sequence.
So now Johnny Benson just...
Yeah, for sure. I'd have to agree with you on that one, though. I think a lot of people would.
He's lapped up to the 30th position at the moment. It's about a 1.2-second advantage over Dale Jarrett.
One of the cars that was running so well early on was Johnny Benson. And while we were at break, he made an unscheduled pit stop. Jerry, what happened?
Oh, what happened?
Well, Benny, what a heartbreaker for the Cheerios Taurus crew. They came from 16th all the way to lead this thing in first place, but a moment ago they came in break, and here's the right rear tire. Where my pin is pointing, there is a puncture. He had a flat right rear tire going down the backstretch, came down pit road, made a 4-tire change, but unfortunately lost a lap under green. He is now being shown as 1 lap down. Let's check in further up pit road.
Tough break for Johnny.
And Jerry, let's chronicle the continuing woes.
He's having such a good race.
Rainbow Warriors and their driver, Jeff Gordon. The car, despite making that...
He's up to 14th. He was... Wow, he was 31st at one point. That had to have been during green flag stops. Because he was 21st on pace at one point. I don't think he was all the way back to 31st. Maybe he pitted earlier.
I went further down and said the Daytona 500 winner, Dale Earnhardt's crew chief, Larry McReynolds. What about you guys? Great pit stop.
This is the first we've seen Dale Earnhardt all race. I haven't looked on the leaderboard to see where his running position was. I don't think he's been in the top 10, though. I haven't noticed him. He's 12th. Yeah, he's just outside the top 10.
We'll end up winning the race, Phil.
Jeremy Mayfield started deep in this field.
Mike Skinner was in 42nd at one point. Where's he at right now?
Near spin. Now Kenny Irwin spins coming out of turn 4.
Oh, we got trouble. Oh, don't run. Oh, my gosh. That's why we don't race back to the line. Oh, my God.
Coming out of the 4th turn.
Oh,
And the caution flag is out.
they're just flying right now. Who was that just got their lap back, like right before it? Jesus.
And the right front tire is flat on the left front tire is flat on Kenny Irwin's car. So he really hopes these tires...
Why was this a rule for as long as it was? This is 1998. That happens. That should be an instant alarm. Yeah, maybe, you know, we probably shouldn't race back to the caution flag at least every time. Like, how about if there's a wreck on the front stretch, you don't race back to the start finish line? Like, oh my gosh. That was wild. He held on to it for as long as he could.
Just barely gets by. Irving goes up, just
Watch
barely
this.
misses the fence.
That car's going full speed right now.
Here's what I thought he was going to get hit. Watch as he comes back across the racetrack.
Look
right
out.
in front of Greg Sachs.
Here it is from another perspective.
This is going to be a good angle of it. Well, I guess the spin was
Look how
the other
close
side of the
Michael
camera.
Waltrip was. And now from Greg Sachs on board camera.
Oh, this... you can't even see yet. See smoke. It's like, all right, check up, check up, check up. And you just got to hope nobody runs into you from behind because everybody else is flying. Somebody passed him on the apron.
The spinning car isn't here.
We got more pit stops.
Pit stops once again as we're under our first caution. Bill Weber.
Had to get my phone on the charger. It's died on me. I've lost the chat.
He can hear the crew. The crew cannot hear him. This is a 4-tire stop. His last set of tires were perfect. He's gone from 32nd to 8th. The leader is on pit road. It's Jerry Punch.
They are going down 1 pound of air pressure in all 4 tires for our leader, Jeff Burton. As Wallace is out, we watch the left side tires going on Jeff Burton's X-side forward. His car was a little bit tight. They're trying to loosen it up. He is down and away. We check in with Jack.
I think somebody took 2 tires because somebody won the race off pit road by a lot. Oh my gosh, who was that flying off? Was that Jeff Burton? You can't tell me Jeff Burton was not speeding off of pit road. Anybody else see him just absolutely flying?
This could be the fact that Jeff Gordon needed. Last week we saw it in Rockingham, how he struggled and struggled on the caution flags. Aaron Hammond, the crew car, a caution flag, they're able to take their time and make significant changes. Jeff Gordon could be back in this race. And we see him on the racetrack currently. Jeff Gordon is in, I can't even find him, in 10th spot.
Well, let's go now to our Wide World of Sports studio with more information on the big NCAA basketball tournament coming up.
Whoa.
Stick around. We'll get back with more.
Talking March
Jeff
Madness.
Gordon. During a radio conversation, coming down in the pit road, Ray Abraham discussed, should we go for 2 tires instead of 4 tires? Why? Track position. Changing 2 would have brought them to the head of the field. Well, listening to that conversation was this team of Ward Burton. They overheard that discussion and said, we ought to go for 2. So that's exactly what they did. And look what it ended up doing for them. It put them towards the front of the pack, Phil Weber.
That's not charging my
Jeremy
phone very well.
Mayfield from the back of the
I'm going to be
pack,
without
now
the
running
chat for at
seventh,
least
directly
5 minutes
behind
here.
his teammate Rusty Wallace. This crew has had 2 pit stops
Apologize.
under 18 seconds, including one 17.44. The green flag comes out, and not only does Jeremy's car look like Rusty's on the outside, but after happy hour, they took a lot of stuff similar to what Rusty was running and put it in the 12. Here's Jerry Thomas.
And Mark Martin is complaining of a vibration amid Valvoline Ford at all different speeds, but pace speed and up at speed. They said, we hope we can get lucky, maybe hang on. And the transmission will hang together. And likewise, a moment ago, Bobby Labonte had a handbrake on the back of the hood. They have a bungee cord hook holding the back left corner of his hood down on the Interstate Pontiac.
I'm confused.
And as the green flag is waved, a whole bunch of traffic out there.
We missed like the first lap of the restart because they were going through a bunch of pit reports. It's terrible.
The leader of the race is Ward Burton in car number 22.
That's the black and green car on the inside, but no longer because here comes Dale Jarrett.
All the lap
The
cars
blue
in the way
and
at the
red car on
bottom.
outside, the 88, he will take the lead. But meanwhile, Johnny Benson, Ernie Irvin able to get by.
Ernie Irvin makes up another lap, and he is now just 1 lap down the field in 41st position. There's Dale Jarrett, the leader of the race. He started from the pole position.
Sweet, sweet sound.
If Jarrett should go on and win this race, he'll pick up 60.
Instead of listening to music when I work out, I should just start listening to like Crank It Ups. Just have like an hour playlist of Crank It Ups and NASCAR.
And we see John Andretti diving to the inside, trying to get on the inside of Lake Speed.
I think that'd be hilarious if somebody actually walked in on me listening to that.
Jeff Burton, ladies and gentlemen, was caught speeding on pit road. He had to go to the end of the longest line.
Terry Labonte's up
to
in
line
third.
up the 99 car.
Jeremy Mayfield's in 6th. Dale Earnhardt's in the top 10 now.
On board with Bill Elliott, who's running an 11th spot at the moment. Dale Earnhardt right in front of him, as is Derek Cope.
And we see Jeff Gordon on the inside trying to...
Bobby Labonte's not having a good race either. He's back in 25th.
After that first series of pit stops, Jeff Gordon did improve the car. Stopped 21st.
Looks like Johnny Benson's back on the lead. Oh, yeah, he got his lap back on the restart.
The second round of pit stops occurred.
Got out ahead of the 88.
Into or very close to the top 10.
If he gets a quick caution, he can get back into
See
this.
Earnhardt trying to get by Dick Trickle. That would be more position. He could do so.
Take a look at the First Plus Financial Field Summary and see where your favorite driver is running. Those numbers in parentheses indicate where they started. Now,
Let's put
Martin
pressure on Dale.
challenge Dale Jarrett once
For
again.
the lead. Oh, man, he's going to try to go to the outside again. I'll tell you what. I'm liking how the outside's actually coming in as well as it is. I thought this was going to be kind of like a train game around the bottom, just with this being a flatter track in the first race here. But honestly, there's 2 lanes. After about 50 laps of racing, now that the outside's rubbered in,
We see Mark Martin. Early on,
there's 2 lanes of
his
racing.
cars are just too loose. Made a pit stop. Just a slight adjustment on these cars can make a huge difference. And he has great communication.
It's crazy they're able to pass cars on the outside, but nobody runs that lane on their own. They just go right back to the bottom as soon as they... It's like it was so fast for you to get around him that way. I'm surprised they don't just stay out
at
there.
the moment. And we're on board with Ricky Craven, who's a lap down in 33rd. Jeremy Mayfield in the number 12 mobile sponsored car comes high off the corner.
I'm curious as to why they put banking at Vegas. I mean, it was like this for almost 10 years. And even in its first race, it's put on some good races. I've seen some good races at Flat Vegas, too. I mean, Vegas is good now also, but it was unique when it was flat. I mean, everybody talks about mile and a half being cookie cutter, but there isn't a flat mile and a half like this on the circuit. Like, this could have been the only one. I mean, Homestead was flat at this time, too. But it was also a different shape. It's still the same shape it is now. It was just flat. Very symmetrical.
Jeremy Mayfield finished third in the Daytona 500 and was 14th at Rockingham last Sunday. Now closing right up on the bumper of the...
There you go, Texas. You want to be unique. You still want to stay at a mile and a half. Make it flat. Why not? I mean, it'd be better than what it is now.
Hot zone telemetry will show you the RPM and the speed being achieved.
Just build it like old Vegas.
Down to 139 miles per hour.
They'd have the D shape on the front stretch, though, so they'd probably have to figure out a way to fix that. If they could,
178, 180.
I'm all right with it.
84 miles per hour, so 180,
187
miles per hour as he goes down in the corner.
I haven't looked to see where he's back up to in the right.
Probably a little slower down the back stretch because it's a little shorter than the double dog-leg front stretch.
Did you say double dog-leg? Oh my God. I don't want to see this. Michael Waltrip's already got a donut on the left side of his car. Look at a skid mark right over the 2 and the 1. Oh my gosh, that is a mess. Oh, somebody bounced off the wall.
And Jeff Bodine, outside post, almost got the wall as he came
I think he did touch it.
But this racetrack is so... Look at
there are so many cars back there.
At 180 miles per hour.
3 wide in the middle of it. Looked like it. Somebody must have backed out of the gas. I think it was Chad Little. He already wrecked Craven.
Kevin Page in 91's got a good run going.
I just don't think that this is going to end well. You can't have that many cars under a blanket like this. On a mile and a half. That's something happened. This is crazy. I'm glad they're showing this because it's just a mess in the middle of the field. 3 wide. Kenny Wallace making the dive on the bottom. That's Jeff Burton in the middle of it too. That was in the middle of 3 wide. Oh, don't go low, don't go low. Oh my gosh. Kenny cut him a break there. He could have just turned him if he really wanted to. Oh, the near contact back. Who else just made a 3 wide pass?
Burton is the number 7 car of Jeff Bodine. 9 back in 18.
I'll get the chat back on my phone here in a couple more minutes. Classic Hot Wheels paint scheme.
17.
One of the car was as fast as it looked.
Little on the camera lens from Jeff Bodine's onboard camera. Bodine came to the Daytona 500 in 1998 without sponsorship on that car. Before the race was run, he signed up the Phillips people as his sponsor. Look at Jeff Burton, still trying to climb up through the field.
Jeff getting on the accelerator, trying to keep up. Jeff Burton. And there we see him back.
Man, Rusty is all over him. He might have been bum drafted him, honestly. He was tucked underneath Dale Jarrett's back bumper. I think this is a battle for second. I think Mark's in the lead still. Yep, there he is.
Back 2 laps down.
Dale Jarrett running second and
Marty Irvin's in the way.
And that blue and white car.
I think Irvin's a lap down.
They're both trying to catch the leader of the race, Mark Martin.
Maybe he's not.
Let's go back to
I think he's a lap down.
zone, see what kind of speed that Rusty Wallace is able to pick up. This is down the backstretch.
Marty Irvin's not a lap down. I'm trying to figure out how he got in the top 5. Must have had a fast pit stop or something.
Keeps the car on the bottom of the racetrack. He probably doesn't have to use the brakes to slow down, but he does to keep the car on the bottom. Let's see what kind of speed. 180 we saw down the back, and we see 185 down the front.
Jerry Punch has more on Dale Jarrett, currently running second.
Well, when we restarted the race after the caution, Dale Jarrett was the leader, and he promptly lost that to Mark Martin. In fact, he is in jeopardy now of possibly losing the second position to Rusty Wallace. And what Dale Jarrett radioed the crew and told them a moment ago is this: we made no changes on the car, no wedge, no air pressure, no nothing during that pit stop yet. This set of tires simply will not stick. I am just sliding out here in the corners. I'll try to hang on as long as I can.
Meanwhile, he begins to...
He's sliding pretty fast.
He certainly is. So Mark Martin leads over Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace. Jimmy Spencer running in 4th. Jeremy Mayfield is in 5th. We'll be right back with more from Las Vegas. Up NASCAR Winston Cup Racing will continue next week from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here in Las Vegas, we have another caution. Jeff Green's spot.
Second caution.
Pit stops are occurring. Here's Bill.
We're in the commercial break.
Jimmy Spencer, the first of the leaders, was running 4th. This is a
Hopefully we get an update on what caused the caution.
Petty slides by on his right-hand side as the rest of the field rolls
Nice
down
paint
pit
scheme,
road.
by the way.
Spencer's away to Jack.
Ford Burton comes out of pit road, and right in front of him would be Ricky Rudd. Now Burton is going to change 4 tires this time. They did not like the way they rolled the dice with only 2. Directly behind Burton, the work continues on Jeff Bodine's car. You're outside pole sitter. They have lost the handle on the car. Jeff Gordon is out. Earnhardt is out. And Burton is away, Jerry Punch.
The Dale Jarrett car, he is out of the way. Up 1 pound of air in all 4 tires. And a track
Mark Martin did not cycle very well off of pit road.
And the crew did something very interesting in the Valvoline pits. They put speedy dry.
Mark Martin had a slow stop. I think I saw him come out well outside the top 10. I mean, Rusty lost some spots too. I think a lot of guys took 2 tires.
That'd
have to be the case.
And he also broke the gear in Daytona trying to lead the pits. So they're really concerned about drivetrain problems trying to lead the pits. You know, you got 750 horsepower. You nail that in first gear and let the clutch out. That's a tremendous strain.
Hopefully don't miss the first lap of the restart.
The drive shaft and the gear and axles. And there is the leader after the pit stops. And folks...
Oh my gosh, why is my phone not changing?
Jeff Gordon will be shown in 2nd position, and let's watch pit road here as they came out.
Check out Spencer, Gordon, and Earnhardt will come off pit road first. Here comes Ricky Rudd. Coming off pit road. He will come out in 4th spot. Ted Musgrave will come out 4th. And finally, Dale Jarrett, after 4 tire change, will come out in 6th spot.
Now, this is why we are under caution. It's been the 3rd of the race, but still we haven't had a car into the wall.
He lost it all on his own.
He's somewhere in there.
Jeff Green looping the car in turn number 2, kicking up a huge amount of smoke, but again, no contact with the wall.
That's 3 times that we've seen a car spin today. Still no one.
It's charging now. It wasn't charging before. Tried plugging it in twice. Looked like Jeff Green lost control all on his own. It's on the outside. Maybe he might have gotten a little too high out of the groove.
Didn't get any help, just got up a little
Looked
high
a
and
lot wider than some of the other cars that have tried to run the bottom throughout the race. Quick update on the chat real quick. We'll cut to the leader if it was commercial 2023 Fox. Matt Hunter, thanks for tuning in.
The field when we resume the Las Vegas 400 and when we come back to our live ABC coverage. Las Vegas, where the cars have been under green.
Come on, let's roll the dice. Yeah, they always have a bunch of puns like that. I'm sure we'll see a bunch this weekend.
The leader of the race is Jimmy Spencer.
Oh, hang on. We missed another restart.
4-1 lap. There you see Ernie Irvin at the front of the field.
Hang on.
Our live ABC coverage. Las Vegas, where the cars have been.
Oh, I think this was the first lap after the restart.
There you see Ernie Irvin at the front.
Yeah, that had to have been the first lap of the restart. All the lap cars were further back, though. That's what's confusing. Unless they all took the wave around. I mean, there wasn't that long of a green flag run. That might have been the case.
You'll see Mike Skinner. He's a lap down.
And next week we'll have more NASCAR Winston Cup racing from Atlanta, the Prime Star 500 featuring the same Winston Cup drivers, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, noon.
Well, maybe not all the same.
NASCAR coverage continuing, and then
sure there's some guys in this field that'll fail to qualify for the next race.
For 1998, as top
Vice
drivers
versa.
from NASCAR, the Indy Racing League and CART take on the track at Daytona next Sunday at 5 Eastern, 4 Central and Pacific on ABC Sports. Let's check out the pit summary and see who gained and lost. Jimmy Spencer gained 3
Jimmy
positions.
Spencer came out with the lead. Gordon second, Earnhardt third.
Ricky Rudd getting
Rod
ninth,
Musgrave.
Ted Musgrave getting
That's
ninth.
definitely a new top 5.
The drivers who were leading the race,
I don't think any of those drivers have
four
been anywhere
times.
near the top 5 all race.
In the pits, cost him track position.
Our leader is Jimmy Spencer, trying to make
go,
it
Jimmy.
2 in a row this weekend here at Las Vegas. He
Jimmy!
won the Busch race last Sunday. Let's check in with Jack Arute on tire strategy. Jack?
Bob, let's call tire strategy simply track position. We've been talking about it all day. Jeff Gordon, they still do not feel like they.
I mean, they seem to be hanging on pretty well.
In their search for the right hand.
They didn't have that many laps on their tires, so right side's only not a bad call.
It doesn't drop off that badly. We still don't
Seems
have
to
a
be
great
working.
car, but let's go for track position. Meanwhile, the man that came out right behind Jeff Gordon, the man in black, Dale Earnhardt, Larry McReynolds said track position was a jump start. We wanted to kick Dale to the front. They feel like they have maybe got a handle on the Goodwrench plus Chevrolet. Back to you.
And Jeremy Mayfield, we might mention, who was also running up in the front of the field for a time, had to make a second pit stop during those most recent stops because of loose lug nuts. And Mayfield finds himself back in
Gotta tighten those nuts.
position. Once again, we see a big
That is another mess. I mean, this happened on the last restart, too. Look at this.
side, 2 and sometimes 3 abreast.
It really is amazing how well these guys were able to drive around this race.
I mean, that's probably like 20 cars, all nose to tail, side by
2
side.
and 3 abreast. You see Wally Dolan back in
There's
first.
no room for error.
Green car right in the middle of the screen or the right side now.
About halfway.
On board with Greg Sachs as he is 14th now. Driving the Thorn Apple Valley Premium Meats Machine by Cale Yarborough.
Thorn Apple Valley. What was that? Thorn Apple Valley Premium
You see track position.
Meats?
Understand how critical track position is.
Never heard of it.
Because you definitely want to be back if you want to be in front of this group of cars. Lake Speed looks back.
Got
at
31
Mark
cars on
Martin
the lead lap.
And Mark Martin, who is running in 11th position,
Martin back in 11th.
will get by Lake Speed. Lake is a lap down, running 36th. Now looking back on Dick Trickle in the number 90 car. He's 12th.
Best name in auto racing, Dick Trickle.
Mark Martin look back at these cars. Mark is running in 11th spot as he looks back at,
What a name.
I guess that's the trickle car. Yep. Check the speed. You see Spencer very fast.
Wow, but Ted Musgrave right now is the fastest car on the racetrack, Benny.
And see
Wow.
the 88 car is second and Mark Martin is third. There's Ted Musgrave.
I mean, fastest car that lap. I wonder if he had more clean air versus like Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett.
Track position really
Some of the other faster cars around
You're
him.
by yourself.
Could be wrong.
Too hard to run a fast lap, but it is difficult to run a fast lap when you're going by the cars like Earnhardt.
Yeah,
and not too
that,
long
I
fast
just
as
kind of
Dale
mentioned
Earnhardt.
that.
Earnhardt slipping back to the 6th position now.
Yeah, because now Bill Elliott had the third fastest lap that last time. It's obviously going to vary every single lap.
Steve Wallace looking to the inside of Dale Jarrett there for a moment. Trying to take over that 3rd position. They come out of the 4th corner onto the tri-oval.
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Spencer are still 1-2.
This race moving right along.
I think it helped them, though, that so many cars took 2 tires.
Completed.
I mean, Jared and Rusty restarted in the back half of the top 10.
And there is Jeff Gordon continuing to hang on to second position. He started 5th, but look what happened. He fell back to 16th position on the 73rd lap, but began to move up and has the runner-up position nailed at the moment as we're on board with Ricky Craven.
And we can see just how good Ricky Craven's car is, because this is the second place car that he's following, and he's able to keep up with Jeff Gordon. Oops, as I say, that Dale Jarrett goes by on the inside.
Yeah, but if Craven took 4 tires, though, and Gordon only has 2, and he's barely keeping up with him, I don't think he's got that quick of a car.
Keep up. Looks like right now it might be just a tick slow.
They're gaining on every pit stop, though, and that's the important thing. That's exactly what happened last week at Rockingham. They kept working and working.
Yeah, they did race at Rockingham race, too.
For the end of the race. Dale Jarrett is working a little bit better right now as he goes to the inside and takes.
Oh, my gosh, Jeff.
Jeff fight back.
Jeff was trying to fight.
Great vantage point for Mark.
He's hanging in there. Hold their left side tires.
Between these two guys, I don't think this car will fit in that hole between these guys. So let's see. Jeff, is he going to be the one that's going? Let's see. Yeah, maybe Jeff will. No, I think Jarrett's going to. Let me dive down to the inside and get Jarrett.
Now the Tabasco hot zone telemetry will show us what the RPMs and speed is on the Rusty Wallace
Backwards
car.
goes good.
We saw 183 on Rusty's car. Earlier we had seen like 185. Passing Jeff Gordon coming off the corner is responsible.
I mean, I think 2 tires would have worked out for him if they could have gotten a caution after like 10, 15 laps. So then everybody would come into the pits again. They could take 4 and keep their jack position. Oh, man. Car trying to pass Gordon on the outside.
Beginning to feel a little racy here.
You know, the fans here in Las Vegas are loving this battle.
Earnhardt started back in 26th spot, but now is up to 4th.
Earnhardt's strong restart looked like he's going to struggle to keep up, but all of a sudden...
Pit road has been the Achilles heel for Mark Martin. Roush as a whole, because even Jeff Burton lost a lot of time.
Coming back, here's a guy that was penalized for too fast on pit road and has worked his way.
Oh, it was a speeding penalty. I told you. I thought Jeff Burton had a speeding penalty. It looked like he was flying when he came off pit road a couple pit stops ago. I think it was that first caution. Pit stops after the first yellow. That's why he was so far back. I didn't hear he actually got the penalty, but looking at it visually, it looked like he was speeding. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Cars on the lead lap as we near the halfway point of the Las Vegas 400.
I don't know what he was thinking. Think he wasn't going to get away with it? Whoa! We had an ad during. I mean, that was perfect ad placement, though, right? As they were cutting the commercial.
Hell of a lot more fun.
It's the first one I've seen all this. Oh, we got a spin. The heck was it? Oh no, that was it was a replay from earlier. I skipped the ad, and first thing I saw was a car sliding.
Well, 3 times today we have seen spins, but no wall contact yet as we've now reached past the halfway point of the Las Vegas 400, and the enthusiastic crowd is still enthusiastic. 107,000 seats there in the grandstand that you see, and every seat is.
It looks like
filled.
more than 107,000.
Kenny Irwin, and Ricky
just with
Craven
how far it
squad.
wraps.
Nobody's hit the wall yet. And these overhead shots are
I think it's because the seats aren't very high. That was one thing I was about to point out, too. It doesn't seem like there's too many rows.
And at the halfway point, Jimmy Spencer was the leader of the race, and so he picks up $10,000.
Folks at Gatorade pay $10,000 for the leader at the halfway, and Jimmy Spencer's being closed in on by Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett.
I mean, I'm surprised Jimmy Spencer's still out in the lead, honestly. Job well done for him.
Officially just 0.3 of a second, but it's more like a car length and a half. Meanwhile, here comes the 4th place car. And
wow, Mark Martin rocketed through the field during the commercial break.
Thinking about taking away that 4th spot from Dale.
It looks like
Bill Elliott's coming back too.
Comes off the corner, and
think Musgrave's behind him.
Can do except slide in between Bill and Elliott.
By the way, that is an awesome Valvoline paint scheme.
Whatever he can.
Mark Barno has had some good paint schemes, though.
On the left, that you see the red car with the
Valvoline as a whole, I mean, do they ever have a bad paint scheme?
He's running in sixth
I mean, even with Byron the last couple of years has been pretty good. Bowman's had a couple good cars. Even Larson's red Valvoline car, 2021.
On Jimmy Spencer, this is how he did it.
And we see that Rusty Wallace
Of course, all the Mark Martin years. I mean, Valvoline never missed. My opinion.
5 laps later was just a half second behind. We can see how consistent Rusty was. 33.9.
Get my phone
0,
again.
1, 1, 1. Consistently 1/10 of a second faster than Jimmy Spencer. Spencer means
Oh my,
consistent
this is
at
ridiculous.
34.3 twice and 34.
I don't know what's going on. I think my phone
in that 5-lap session. Now here is Rusty diving to the bottom of the racetrack and taking the lead away from Jimmy Spencer.
When Rusty Wallace pulled in the corner on the end behind Jimmy Spencer, just a little bit got the air off the spin. Elliott going by Earnhardt on the outside. That'll move into the 5th spot. Rusty Wallace took that air off Jimmy Spencer's floor and got the Winston car extremely loose as he goes to the corners. Now Dale Jarrett goes to the 2nd spot.
So in 1 lap, Jimmy Spencer falls from the lead back to 3rd position.
Remember, Spencer only changed 2 tires trying to get that track position, which worked beautifully for him. And I think the car's going on well enough to maintain that track position until the next pit stop. So he'll change 4 tires like the rest of them. And now Musgrave's trying to go by.
Check out the First Plus Financial Field Summary here. Showing you where everybody is running at the moment.
See Benson back there in was he in 14th spot?
Yep.
After falling a lap down, get it back.
Ken Musgrave and Dale Earnhardt battling for that 6th position. Earnhardt to the far side and Mayfield, Musgrave on the top. Now Earnhardt falls in behind the 16 car. The 99 car, meanwhile, of Jeff Burton.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my phone. It says it's charging, and then when I go back over there and unplug it, it's saying 0% again. So I don't know what's going
Closing in
on.
on one of his teammates, Ted Musgrave.
I think I knocked the camera out.
Don't leave that spot away. Well, actually, I think he just wants to do a little racing with Ted Musgrave.
Jack has an update on Dale
Astros,
Earnhardt.
thanks for tuning in.
This is first, guys. Dale Earnhardt likes his race car.
Phoenix, I'd recommend 2013 spring. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a spring race that we'll rewatch.
During the next stop, he said if everything stays the way it is now.
Plus, they only had 1 race that year.
Tires, make some air pressure adjustments. He says Dale likes right where he is right now.
Well, he is losing a couple of positions, though. There you see Jeff Burton also going around him now, so that puts Earnhardt back to the 8th position. Earnhardt has not led a lap so far today. He has led in the previous 2
21 to
races
go
this
yet?
year in Winston Cup competition. Of course, he won the Daytona 500, also led a lap at Rockingham.
And Jeff Burton goes by his Roush teammate Musgrave on the outside.
Yeah, Dale didn't have a great 1998 season outside of winning the 500.
His car is fast. Now Earnhardt is going to try that high line to get
But honestly, considering he won 7 championships before this, and never won the Daytona 500, if you could have asked him, would you win the Daytona 500 in 1998 if it meant you weren't going to win another race the rest of the season, I think he would have said yes.
Look at Musgrave, though, battle back on the inside.
Yeah, that was a race he wanted to win for a long time. That was a big block. It's like he hesitated at first. Trying to block Musgrave.
At Daytona. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Rusty Wallace leading, but Dale Jarrett is right there.
Rusty and Dale in a battle.
Less than a car length behind. Dale Jarrett finished 2nd in NASCAR Winston Cup points in 1997. He is currently 2nd to Rusty Wallace here at Las Vegas. Back in a moment. Back back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where the race continues under green. 153 laps are in the book. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, America's Funniest Home Videos is back with Daisy Fuentes and John Fugelsang, then Hugh and Barbara on 2020, followed by Dylan McDermott in The Practice. It's all new on ABC Monday
I've
night.
never heard of that show, The Practice.
Jeff Burton continues to come forward. He's battling for the 5th position with Bill Elliott.
And Jeff Burton, I looked a moment ago, was about 8 seconds behind. A few laps ago, he is now 6 seconds behind. So he has gained 2 seconds on Rusty Wallace.
At this point in the race, all cars are still running. Now, Hut Strickland is 77 laps behind. He went behind the wall for a long time, but is still out there. Let's take a look at our fun race recap. Rusty Wallace is the current leader of the race, has led 17 of the 155 laps. You can see that Dale Jarrett is trying to wrestle the lead away from Rusty. We've had 13, I think we could say now 14 lead changes, 2 caution periods, a total of 9 laps, and the average speed is 141.5 miles an hour. Here are the drivers that so far have led the race, and these are very important.
Oh, Jeff Burton still led the most.
It gives them 5.
Jimmy Spencer led 28 laps on that last restart.
Led 25 laps. You see Benson led 9. Joe
Or Johnny Benson, if he didn't have that tire go down, he'd be right here with these guys. Well, I mean, granted, well, he hasn't had a mistake on pit road, but he hasn't been in a high enough pressure situation, I guess, to make a mistake.
31st position and the next car to be left. What is the problem with Nemechek, Jackaroo?
Well, buddy, you were in the right church, but you had the wrong view. They think they have a problem with the carburetor. Actual discussions going on right now. Should he go a lap down? They feel like they might want to just bring him in and try and effect a carburetor change.
That's tough. He was in the top 10 early.
Nemechek. Ernie Irvin goes by.
Pretty good car.
And there we see the leaders coming up, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace.
Last lap, Dale Jarrett was running 157.2 miles an hour. Rusty was a little bit faster at 157.7. But that's how close they are here, well past the halfway point of the race.
You know, we talk about how close they get in NASCAR West Cup racing. Check this out. Sterling Marlin, the 40 car comes up. That's Lake Speed right in front.
Ooh.
He says, Lake, you kind of holding me up a little bit. Would you mind moving over, buddy? Maybe he said that.
I'm surprised I didn't turn him.
There's Lake Speed
Getting
car.
in the corner like that, getting that shot from behind.
This is the first plus financial.
I feel like most of the time, it didn't even look like it knocked him loose either.
A lap down to the
It seemed
field.
pretty steady.
Speed had a great run at Daytona, finishing in 17th. Lake Speed finished 27th last week at Rockingham. Jarrett leads here at the Las Vegas 400. Thanks very much, John, for the update on the big conference championships that are going on in conjunction with March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament. Here in Las Vegas, we've completed 166 laps of our 267-lap Las Vegas 400, and the lead is held by Dale Jarrett. There he is, car number 88, the blue car with the red trim. Right behind him is second place.
Rusty's got a big run. He's too far back to try to have a chance at him, though, I think. Maybe. Oh, yeah, lap car on the bottom. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there definitely wasn't a lot of room there for Rusty to get through.
Dallenbach is now 2 laps down in 38th position as we have 28 cars that are on the lead lap.
A lot of comers and goers, though. I'd say it's been a pretty good race so far.
Here comes another Napa Field summary for you, showing where everybody is running. Jimmy Spencer running 4th after starting in 29th position. Jeff Burton continues to be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Kenny Wallace in the top 10 now.
After starting in 26th spot.
Johnny Benson's recovered to 13th from a lap down. That's impressive. Definitely has a chance at a good finish. Jeff Gordon's fallen all the way back to 20th. Restarted 2nd. Took 2 tires to get track position. He was not able to hold on like Jimmy Spencer.
This time they only changed 2 tires the last pit stop. They changed 2 tires trying to get that track position. But it
Mike Skinner's still 34th.
He's struggling all the way back to 20th spot after starting in about 2nd spot.
Yeah, things have not gone well for Jeff Gordon. At times, it appears the car
Jimmy Spencer's still in 4th.
It goes away.
2 tire stop definitely worked out for
Look at
him.
this. cars come up on lap traffic. They make contact. Jarrett still has the lead as they put a lap on Bobby Hamilton in the number 4 car. He's in 28th position.
97 to go.
So 27 are now on the lead lap. And here's Bobby Labonte making
From one Bobby to another.
Jerry Punch, is he within your view?
They're definitely not going to be able to make it up field from here.
That's the required speed on pit road.
2 stops to the end.
Joe Gibbs, the 3-time Super Bowl winner, is the car owner here for this machine. For Bobby Labonte, the younger of the 2 Labonte brothers. Right side tires, Jeff Chandler. In the right side tires, they go to the left side. We are expecting to see Rocky Wallace coming momentarily to check in with Jackaroo.
Well, Jeff Gordon continues to try and get this car to work properly. The Rainbow Warriors go to work. Now there's an orange handle going on the right-hand side of the car through the rear window. One.
That guy spraying on the...
They're going to change 4 tires all the way around and take 22 gallons of Union 76 fuel.
This was before tear-offs.
Is an indication to me, guys, that with
Getting a wax job while he's on pit road.
they're gaining on it, but they still got problems.
Wax on, wax off.
Rusty Wallace in. They are going to make an air pressure adjustment. A half a pound out in the left rear, up a half a pound.
They go to
in the right
work.
rear of the car, just 2 times. Left side tires going on. Already.
Tear-offs are much easier. Less time consuming.
Kyle Petty is off pit road. He's getting 4 tires. Directly behind him, Jimmy Spencer. They're going to make a track bar adjustment on Spencer's car. His car is loose. He could not find the groove. Now a tire begins to roll away. The Jackman's going to have to go chase it. This will be very costly. Dale Jarrett's on pit road.
Whose tire rolled away?
Scheduled pit stop for Dale Jarrett.
Hopefully it wasn't Jimmy Spencer's.
Left side tires. They were not going to make any changes whatsoever on the 88 car. Very, very happy with the chassis. 1 can of fuel, 2nd can of fuel. Now he is still on pit road and finally down and away.
Jimmy Spencer is headed out, so is Jeremy Mayfield. Bill Elliott is coming down at
45 miles per hour. See Ted Musgrave and Ricky Rudd leaving. Here's Bill Elliott coming to you, Jerry Punch.
Indeed, he qualified fourth to start today. Had that rapid engine change an hour before the race started. He brings it to a halt right in the middle of his pit box. The big McDonald's Ford. They work when they tear away that plastic shield on top of the windshield. Clean the grill. They have already replaced 2
Yeah, well, Bill Elliott had a tear-off. Why didn't everybody else have one?
left rear off. New tires being placed.
I'm like, no, trust me, it's just easier to... It's easier if we just wax it during the pit stop rather than
That was a terrific
have a tear-off.
Joe Baroni and his crew.
Mark Martin is the leader of the race, but it looks
Martin
like
stayed out
he
quite a
is
bit
slowing
longer.
down and headed for pit road.
Which is interesting considering he was 3rd, I think.
He was running 2nd until he relinquished that spot to come in. Back to you,
Plus
Jerry
Rusty and Dale haven't pitted yet, but I think
Mark
they have.
Martin will have to make 1 more stop with about 30 laps to go. That would mean only 1 can of fuel would be necessary if they get it good and full at this stop here. As his teammate Jeff Gordon exits pit road, here comes the valve in forward. Remember, Martin, incredibly confident this morning. Normally very stoic, but confident that he had the car to beat here today. He finally has come to a halt in his pit. They will clean the windshield, covered in debris. Remember, the sun can become a factor here in the late afternoon at Las Vegas. Left side tires now going on. Jack beneath the car. 1 pump. The car is off the ground. They have 1 can. Now 2 cans of fuel in it. They got the lug left tight. He is down. Look close to Jack Roots for the Dale Earnhardt stop.
Gary, he said he liked his race car, but now they're going to make a small track bar adjustment. But again, Dale Earnhardt is on pit road. Right side tires going on. It will be a 4-tire stop. Now the Jackman will have to come around, jack up the car, and by the time he gets it up in 1 pump, the tires come off. I've yet to see the track bar adjustment, though, guys, so I've got to think that they've gone without it. In 19 seconds even, the Daytona 500 champion is away, and Terry Labonte is in pit road.
Man, Terry was hauling coming into the pits.
Begins to crawl down pit road, 45 miles per hour. This should be a 4-tire stop for the 5-car. We'll see. Also watch when he leaves. This concrete surface along pit road, very, very slick. They go around to the right side with the tires. They clean the grill and the windshield. Waiting for the lug nuts to tighten. Now they'll come around to the left side and turn will have 4 Goodyear Eagles. The fuel pouring in. Again, they scrape the windshield clean. Waiting to burn up the lug nuts. Very Labonte is back
Could you imagine them having a slow stop just because, like, the guy trying to clean the windshield is taking forever?
And it looks like
Oh, I missed the spot.
is the leader of the race, but now he comes in for his pit stop. So Jeff Bodine will pick up the 5 bonus points.
Like, starts to go over the pit wall. No, stop. Couple more sprays.
We just cannot find the right handle on this Phillips Ford Taurus. Jeff Bodine finds the marks, locks it up.
Brendile also welcome into the stream.
They too will make changes. First going to the
Santiago
outside,
Kid, welcome.
The gas man, an unencumbered effort down towards the rear, at least with the first 11 gallons. That's completed. They go now to the left side tires, putting the jack up in one pump. They are going to try and change all 4 tires. And Jeff Bodine
Got 32 likes on the stream. Appreciate everybody that has hit the like button already. Be sure to do so if you haven't. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content.
Not very fast.
And that completes the
I have not had the chat for a large portion of this race all of a sudden. My phone, for whatever reason, is not charging.
Dale Jarrett running
I'm watching this on my laptop, so I have no really other way to check the chat. So I apologize if I'm not keeping up with you guys on a regular basis.
And the real key issue now, do they just stop for fuel, or do they change right side tires? Will some of them change full tires? There's the outside pole sitter, Jeff Bodine, about to go a lap down.
will return.
Man, that's interesting, because if they go fuel only or take 2 tires on the last stop, that means you're going to be asking for like 90 laps out of your tires. That just seems like too much to me, even on a freshly paved track.
The choice is clear.
On occasion, fortunately, not
You'd have to
very
imagine
often,
handling
we
is
see
going
the
to
car
really
impacted in the
slip
side or
away.
front, erupt into flames. And one has to wonder, how can that happen? After all, the fuel cell is in the back of the car, and that part hasn't been affected. Well, it's quite simple. When a fuel line is severed or the fuel pump is sheared away from the engine, what can happen is fuel can be siphoned out of the tank and up the hose. And if this tank is full from 22 gallons, you can have one heck of a fire. Well, that won't happen in 1998 because of this little piece right here. It is a one-way check valve mandated by NASCAR. And this valve requires the fuel pump to actually suck to open it up to allow fuel to come out of the tank. So, if the fuel pump is sheared away or this line is severed, no more fuel can come out of the tank. The only gas you're going to lose is what's in the line itself.
You know, one of the greatest things, where the gasoline goes in the big hose in the center of the tank, if the car happens to flip over its roof, like Randy LaJoie did yesterday, that ball will go up and make sure that the fuel doesn't come out. Look at Randy LaJoie yesterday afternoon. He's going to come into this crash.
Oh my gosh!
Just did trickle up on the roof, and no fuel
He was
comes up.
flying. I mean, somebody else was flying too.
Sure that no fuel comes up. Normally it'd lose
I don't think I've
20
ever seen that
gallons
crash
of gas
before.
as it goes down.
And the defending Busch Series.
There's like 4 cars on the wall already
in
too.
that crash. There's the huge crowd that's gathered here to watch the Winston Cup cars compete in the Las Vegas.
I don't think I've ever seen that crash before.
There are celebrities all over the place. We welcome Yasmin Police to the Las Vegas 400.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Former star of Baywatch, who is enjoying
Oh,
the
that's who
Las
that
Vegas
is?
400 from the pit area.
I've heard of Baywatch. I had no clue what her name was.
And Schaefer.
Anybody wants to, she wants to, I guess.
And we're watching Rusty Wallace maintain the lead by just a car length or so over Dale Jarrett. And right
Man, Rusty and Dale have been
Wallace
close to each other for a long time, even through the pit stops.
And Rusty is trying to chase him down.
Mark's just kind of slowly creeping in.
Put Jeff a lap
Yes, sir.
down, so Bodine remains
Must be getting through the lap cars a little bit better.
And Ernie Irvin is now going 2 laps down. Rusty Wallace goes by him. And Jarrett's closed up right on the back bumper. You see the M&M's
Oh.
here on Wednesday afternoon.
Is that Ernie? Ernie kind of held Dale Jarrett up a little bit there. I mean, Dale still got off turn 4 really well, though. It almost seemed like he still closed in on Rusty.
This Sunday, next week in Atlanta, he'll be back to the schedule. Oh, we have that. Now, there's the car that Ernie drove last week in Rockingham.
The heck am I watching?
And all of a sudden,
Is this how they used to show off new paint schemes?
We're back Margo.
well, it's been fun to visit Las Vegas.
The original Candyman, Ernie
We
Irvin.
look forward to many trips back to this fantastic facility. Well, the number 6 car of Mark Martin has fought his way back to 3rd position, Jerry Punch.
Well, that's the good news, Bob. The bad news is that Mark Martin radioed in a moment ago and told the guys, I think the transmission or rear end may be coming out of this thing. The crew behind pit wall are getting ready.
Who did they say, Mark Martin?
With a new rear end gear here. They've got a transmission here. They've got pan and greases all here ready for that car to come in. Now, Mark Martin radioed just now a moment ago and said, guys, if this thing holds together, we can win this race. But he may not be the only guy having trouble as the 43 car is smoking on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's John Andretti. He's in 18th position, but you can see a trail of smoke.
She's blowing up.
Well, he did. That happened going in turn 1, just at the end of the straightaway.
She is blowing up.
Reaches peak RPM, but it's not going to last long doing that. That's for sure.
He stayed out again. Why would you stay out?
And about the time he gets to the end of the
Run until she blows. She's definitely blowing.
Ready for the smoke.
So John will have to come to pit road and have that problem.
I'm surprised it's not smoking more.
Meanwhile, here's a battle for 2nd position.
Oh, Mark's caught Dale.
Martin goes inside of Dale Jarrett, and they go wheel to wheel down the backstretch.
Man, oh man. Look how fast Mark Martin has been going. Started almost 2 seconds behind Rusty. Wallace is now just 9/10 of a second behind.
Yeah, Rusty's right there.
And we can see he's been fast.
Top 3 under a blanket.
Will the gear or transmission?
I mean, this green flag run's gone every bit of, what, 70 laps roughly?
Please.
I made it through green flag pit stops.
A great side-by-side battle all the way around the racetrack between Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett for 2nd position.
Dale's hanging in there.
Rusty Wallace watches in his rearview mirror as the leader of the race.
Nope, not going to clear him that time.
I tell you, Dale Jarrett's got him right where he wants him now. They post him up to his.
There's 2 lap cars right in front of Rusty, though, so even with these guys going side by side, they're not really losing him.
Now, one reason Rusty Wallace is not driving away from these 2 cars as they run side by side because he's caught Bob Labonte, the 18 car, Interstate Batteries Finance.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that, Benny. Wow, Mark got off of turn 2 really, really well. I mean, he almost got underneath the 2 car, even after clearing the 88.
Good battle for 5th position. That is Dale Earnhardt in the 3 and Bill Elliott.
Earnhardt battling back on Elliott. Well, now Earnhardt's got 4 tires, so he's kind of catching back up. When he got passed by those 2 guys earlier, he was only on 2. Oh, he got loose. I thought he lost it. What a save. What a save.
Jack Arute has more on Dale Earnhardt.
And Benny, that's a
I thought he was going around, honestly. He was so far sideways. Dale's a wheel man, that's for sure.
Well, he did, but now when you get a little loose like that, you put heat in those tires, they aren't quite as effective.
They came very close.
Mark going for the lead.
Meanwhile, it is Mark Martin who's trying to wrestle the lead away from
Rusty led that lap.
And they go down the corner, and Martin
sends it. Got him.
Back from 2 seconds down to take the lead from Rusty Wallace.
An impressive performance by Mark Martin as he has taken command now of the Las Vegas 400 with 66 laps to go. We have completed 201 circuits.
As we check, look at the Fords in the top 10. 9 of the top 10 of the Ford Taurus. Only Earnhardt in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo able to break in the top 10. He is in 7th spot.
And for you Jeff Gordon fans, he's back in 7th.
That's the top 10?
At the moment. So here is Rusty Wallace.
By the way to go Johnny Benson, recovered 8th place after being a lap down earlier.
Behind the 6 car.
Made a green flag stop, unlapped himself the old-fashioned way. He's gotten back up to 8th.
For the Prime Star 500.
I mean, he'd have a race-winning car, honestly. He'd be right up there with these 3 if he didn't have that issue. Really stinks because he wouldn't get his first career win until, what, 2003?
Have been completed.
I mean, he could have been at Roush for a long time if he would have competed and potentially won this one.
By Jack Roush and driven by Mark Martin is at the front of the field, and all 5 cars owned by Jack Roush are running in the top 13.
Chad Little running 13th, the worst, and first 4th, 5th, and 8th. And Johnny Benson
Look at the point standings for those Roush cars, though. 16th, 30th, 31st, 40th. That's only the third race. But they did not have a hot start.
We saw earlier with the smoke coming out of the car. Bill Weber.
John Andretti's car being loaded up on the STP rig. What happened, John?
Right after the
She
first
blew
pit
up.
stop, it looked like we started to lose power and some smoke was coming inside the car. And
She blew up, Bill.
it burning a piston, I guess. And we kept running, and then finally it started smoking so bad that there was nothing we could do. And NASCAR black flags us, and when it burns a piston, you can't get them to stop smoking. So the STP Pontiac up, and I'm really proud of the team because we didn't unload very good, and we had a really strong race car when we were hitting on all 8.
Okay, John Andretti done for the day. Of course, he drives for the king of stock car racing, Richard Petty.
And that becomes the first car officially out of the race. Now, Kenny Wallace is behind the wall.
Oh, wow, that was a close call.
The only car out of the race so far. It was close a few laps ago. The number 41 car driven by Steve Grissom had a problem. We'll show you what happened here.
Never seen the Kodiak Chevrolet of Grissom.
What happened to Steve Grissom?
That's Robert Presley right behind the 41 car to come off the corner.
Presley get into him? Oh, it looked like he got loose before the contact. He started getting loose, and then the 32 got into him.
And I think did in fact save the car without hitting one.
Good save, though.
Very good job of saving that car. It slid
To get loose and then get contact and still hang on.
Marbles, the slick part of the racetrack, but Steve was managed to gather it in. Right now, Grissom is 3 laps down, running in 36th position.
Oof.
After starting this race in
Oh, man, now he's pitting.
Steve is headed for pit road.
He's had enough. He came in hot.
These tires are not working.
Change these tires.
The thing you do is stop, put 4 tires on, and he should be able to take his
I just imagine a squeaky noise, by the way, when they're
16 cars
wiping the
are on
windshield
lead
off, and
lap,
just
and
imagine
Drew goes to work now on the left side of the Kodiak Monte Carlo,
I don't know. It's so cool.
leading the work and getting Steve Grissom back out there for probably the remainder of the race.
It just
now.
mind boggles me that they have
212,
tear-offs and not
267
everybody's using
complete
them.
here in the Las Vegas 400.
This is way more effective.
Well, this is a magnificent facility here about 12 miles northeast of Las Vegas.
How bare the
overhead
infield
shots
is, too.
That have been coming to you all
It's like no
afternoon
camping in
at
the
courtesy
infield.
of the Pennzoil Copter Cam.
It's kind of strange.
Mark Martin leads.
It's like nowadays you would see like the infield would be packed.
And the
It's kind of strange that they
car of Johnny Benson
didn't have everything in the
running
infield.
fifth. We'll be right back. Dale Jarrett is in trouble. The car is smoking badly.
Oh no, Dale Jarrett blew up?
No, we saw some parts come out from the car that as it came off the corner. I saw debris, Jerry Bunch.
Many are saying that DJ thinks they may have swallowed a valve in the engine. If that is the
Oh,
case, then they're
no.
going to be shooting debris out the exhaust pipes.
They get up for
Maybe
2
some of the
seconds.
debris you saw come in a moment ago. He is slowing
Man.
down on 7 cylinders, maybe even 6 as it's getting weaker and weaker. As he
He's
heads
at third.
across. What a tough race. They had some strategy for the final pit stop. And they were going to come down pit road right now at 45 miles an hour.
Rusty Wallace and Bobby Labonte are also on pit road, and we'll go back down to Jerry.
As Dale Jarrett comes to a halt, we'll watch the Rusty Wallace pit stop. Final pit stop for the day for Rusty Wallace and the Penske crew.
All right, it's saying my phone's at 38%,
They
so
will up 1 pound to the right
should be
rear
able to get the chat
and
back
1
up here in
pound
a
in the left rear.
matter of
Trying to get the
moments.
car dialed in for the final
The final
30
stops. A lot of guys short pitting. I don't think they're at 30 to go yet. Probably splitting the run in half. 45-45.
As he goes by, we're hearing conversations of the 88 season.
I mean, that makes sense.
Possibly the 88 is done for the day. Yes, they will indeed.
Top break though for Dale Jarrett.
Slowly down pit road and around behind the pit wall. What
Had a great
tough
car.
break for Dale Jarrett.
Leading in points through the first 2 races.
Dale as the car
Oh no,
continues
Rusty
to sit
was.
there.
My
Here
bad.
comes the
Rusty was
22
leading
car
points.
Ward Burton off pit road. Who's completed the work on that machine, and they're set to go for the remainder of the race as long as we don't have any more cautions. There's the 88 going.
All right, I've got the chat back up. No Torres, thanks for tuning in. SC30 also welcome.
I've got to pose a question for you.
Hope it does get, yeah, most of these streams get copyrighted, so. Can't really do much about it.
Do you gamble and maybe take two?
I'm willing to take the loss once a week.
You haven't really seen speeds drop off as long as you only put about 25 or 30 laps on a set of tires. What would you do if you were making the
2002, Johnny got
I
that.
think it's going to depend on the team and the car and the driver. Rusty Wallace's car was not up to speed, Jack. That's why he chose to stop early. In fact, he did stop early along with Jeff Gordon.
By the way, I was talking about good Valvoline paint schemes. I completely forgot about Johnny Benson's 10-carter. Same with Scott Riggs.
Somebody like Johnny Benson, who has never won a race. Ted Musgrave changed 2 tires on their stop.
Benson running third, Musgrave running fourth here at the moment. We're watching Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt decide who is going to run sixth. As Earnhardt,
These guys have been battling for a while, too.
Is not real happy about giving it away.
How'd Rusty
Meanwhile,
come out behind
Wallace,
him?
who has completed the stop and is back on the racetrack. Jimmy Spencer and Chad Little, who is running in 8th spot. This is the battle for that position between Chad.
Good run for both those guys. Oh my gosh, Jimmy.
Chad Little
Got back in the gas a little too soon there. I thought he was going to crowd the 97.
Dead last. It says starting 29th. Oh, I'm sorry, we're looking at Jimmy Spencer. Starting 29th. Going to run in the 9th spot. Better make that 10th spot.
There's Michael Walters, who also crashed during happy hour and started from the tail of the field. Down to Jerry Punches. Jeff Burton is in.
Setting up to be a great finish for Team Roush as Jeff Burton comes in to get work done on his final stop of the day. The X-side crew already having changed right side tires, now changing left side tires, trying to get maybe 3, even 4 Roush cars to finish in the top 15. He is down and away, waiting on his teammate Mark Martin to make a stop.
Mark continues to circulate and leading. Meanwhile, Mayfield is in.
It's interesting, Mark's staying out as long as he is right now with Rusty already pitting. You have to imagine he's getting some time on him.
Nuts loose. They're hoping to get a great 4-tire stop here.
I'd be shocked if Rusty doesn't cycle out with the lead.
Waiting for the left side tires to be put in place. Then the lug nuts tighten. Jeremy Mayfield back in the race. Jackaroos.
And Bill, the work has been completed on the right side of Dale Earnhardt's car, and he answers one of my questions. Now looking for track position, needing the extra rubber, 4 tires all the way around for Dale Earnhardt. He liked that last set that was on. We'll have to see where he can end up with this set. Bill Elliott's on pit road as well.
So it's Ted Musgrave. The work completed on the McDonald's Ford, and Bill Elliott works his way back into the race. Ted Musgrave.
You know, a special kind of fan that only perhaps Blaney boys.
Now, this is the one guy that I thought
Begin with
might
that.
just gamble on 2 tires. No, 4 tires.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Blaney has had some heartbreak quite a bit, but
Chassis adjustment there on the
he hasn't
right
had
rear of the car.
near
Now
the longevity
to the
to
right side.
find out if he'd overcome that at any point in time. He's had a couple close calls in the Daytona 500 already, unfortunately. 2018, he led a bunch of laps, finished second twice, once by nose to Hamlin. Of course, came close on the final lap. He was leading 2022. So there's definitely been some heartbreak there. It was heartbreaking watching. Oh, Johnny! Oh, Johnny! He recovered all the way up to 8th. Well, he would have been 7th, I guess. With
He gets his car right ahead of him. Here is Mark Martin's final pit stop of the day. They will change all 4
he would have been 7th with Dale Jarrett blowing up.
Updating the vibration situation. Mark said the vibration is coming and going. When it comes back each time, it gets
I mean, that's just.
and worse and worse. They are hoping and praying they can hang on and possibly win this thing. Mark Martin won a 4 Roush car.
I wonder if he's going to have to come back in
20.2
because of the speeding penalty because of that slide. I don't know.
Let's take a look at Johnny Benson's spin as he was coming in for this stop. Here
Came
he
in
is
a
coming
little
down
too
off
high.
The 12 degrees of banking on
Oh,
the pit road,
yeah,
and
as soon as
the
he-
car gets out from under him.
I'll tell you what, Johnny Benson has never won a race, and that's exactly what caused this spin, because he wanted to come off the racetrack and gain that 1 or 2 seconds that he needed, and guess what? That cost him. Spencer is in to you, Weber.
Jimmy Spencer has been hunting for the groove. It's a 2-tire stop. They talked about making a track car adjustment. Spencer said, let's do it with
Good day gone bad for multiple occasions. He's had a roller coaster of a race, that's for sure.
He too goes very slowly down pit road until he reaches the final line, and then he can accelerate. Ricky Rudd has also completed a pit stop. Michael Walker is in. So the final series of pit stops here at the Las Vegas 400. Who's going to win this thing? We'll come back with more in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway and the Las Vegas 400. And 1998 is a special year for stock car racing. A year-long party is underway, and we're proud to be a part of it. Throughout the year, we'll be showing you memorable moments from the history of NASCAR. All in celebration of NASCAR.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, they're doing that this year with the 75th anniversary, too.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola. 38 years ago this week, Richard Petty won his first then Grand National race on the dirt of the Charlotte Fairgrounds. His father, Lee, started on the pole and finished 20th. King Richard's storied career included 200 wins, 7 Daytona 500 championships, and 7 Winston Cup titles. He collected $800 for his win on February 28, 1960, in front of 7,800 fans. The King became the most famous name in all of motorsports. Richard Petty, 1,185 starts, and he was successful on all kinds of racetracks, be it super speedway, short tracks, or road courses. That's why he's the king of stock car racing. More live coverage of the Las Vegas
1,185 starts. This.
We've seen 3 wide racing, some bumps, 5 spins. A car has not yet hit the wall. Let's hope that that is the way it stays. We have, however, seen 1 engine expire that has unfortunately knocked Dale Jarrett out of the race. Jerry?
That mustache,
you can almost
though.
see the frustration and feel it from Dale Jarrett. Dale, you look like you almost had him covered today.
Well, we had a good race car. Mark was strong there. Dan, Rusty had a good car, but I was talking to Todd on the radio going down the front stretch about what we were going to do to try to catch Mark to make the adjustment on our last pit stop whenever something like going in the engine.
No warning at all, no vibrations, no fluttering, no nothing?
No, everything had been perfect up to that time, and it wasn't like we were over-revving it. I told the guys early I thought we might have pulled too high gear, but it was working out for us, and last set of tires that I was on there was just a little bit slippery, and so we were getting another set ready, and I thought that we were going to be in good shape, but just couldn't quite make it today.
Dale Jarrett will head to Atlanta and possibly try to get his bad luck turned around here in 1998. A 34th at Daytona, 7th at Rockingham, and a DNF here.
Well, Jerry, there is the lead change. Now, Jeff Bodine indeed was the leader. However, Mark Martin is about to
I don't think Jeff Bodine's pit yet.
away from him.
He was outside the top 20 for a long time. Yeah, staying out in case they get a caution.
They're looking for a caution flag.
I was going to say. I wonder how many laps are left. Got to be getting close. Oh, 30 to go, maybe? Maybe less than that.
He said, if we don't get a caution and we come in, he says, watch for gas only. I said, what about tires? He said, read my lips, gas only.
And probably pretty good strategy for Jeff Bodine.
Yeah, right now we've only got about 23 laps to go. 22 laps
22 to go.
Like that. And the car looks like it's slipping around pretty good, but he can probably keep up.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like is that they don't have the lap counter up in every single lap like they do now. It's like if you're just tuning in like late in the race, like you're watching this, they're like, how many laps are left? I mean, come to find out there's like 22 to go. I wonder why they didn't just show it the whole time.
With now 246 laps completed.
Same thing goes with the leaderboard too. I wonder why it took them so long to show the leaderboard the whole race.
The official NASCAR website, www.nascar.com.
Rather than like flashing it every 10 to 15, 20
Now,
laps.
here's Jeff Bodine making a pit stop.
And guess what? Read my lips. Tires.
Jackaroo.
And Benny, Pat, he had a problem coming out of pit road.
Right sides only.
And last minute elected to make that tire change.
Probably just enough to get enough fuel in the car and then take off.
You don't want to gamble with a set of slippery tires, as you said, when they can become grassy as well.
That's
that him?
Close to the racetrack. Not even close.
Is that Jeff?
So the driver who started on the outside of the front row.
That was Jeff.
Coming on to pit road.
Same thing as Johnny Benson. He's trying to get in as fast as he can. As he turns well pit road.
He missed that so terribly.
He's going to spin out. So
He didn't get to pit road till like halfway past.
I'll go on the grass. And you know what? NASCAR can't time him with the grass.
That's right. They use lines, but they are painted on the pavement to determine if a car is speeding on pit road. Well, the Las Vegas 400 is
There's no way he can't. You'd think he'd have to serve a penalty for that, right?
from our ABC station.
He's got to get penalized for that.
Stay up to speed with complete racing coverage.
Why are we taking commercial break with 20 laps to go? What is this? Fox Sports?
Keyword ABC Sports. And you're watching live coverage of the Las Vegas 400 here on ABC Sports this afternoon.
Come back, there's probably like
We've
10
only got
laps left.
13 more laps to go.
13.
And Mark Martin has a 2.5-second lead over Jeff Burton.
That happened. Now fans be outraged.
It was about 3.5 seconds, not too long to go. So Jeff Burton is getting
Jeff Bodine had to have gotten penalized for that.
closer and closer.
Isn't there such thing as a commitment line violation, or is that not a thing in 1998?
He was 3.1 seconds behind. 5 laps later, he was 2.7 seconds behind.
I mean, he wasn't even close to making it.
He
He was in the grass like halfway down pit road before he actually
Martin, by the
came
way,
in.
has just clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps here in the inaugural
Yeah, Mark's led the most.
Las Vegas 400. Here's an Applefield.
Took till late in the race for somebody to clinch. Johnny Benson spun coming into the pits, and he's still in fourth. Did he not take tires? Thought he did. Only 11 on the lead lap. This is a really long green flag lap. I mean, they're going to go pretty close to about half the race. Caution free the second half.
He's a lap down in 22nd.
Johnny's. How did that happen though? Like Johnny, we saw Johnny Benson spin coming into the pits, and he's still in fourth. Doesn't make any sense. Where's Jeff Bodine at? Jeff Bodine's 14th. You mean to tell me he didn't get penalized for literally skipping half a pit road just driving through the grass? NASCAR just didn't give any Fs at this time, did they? You're not wrong about it. It's amazing how pit stops have evolved. I know you could just like miss the commitment line and just skip half a pit road, come down when you please. I mean, he gained so much time doing that. Had to have.
Showing the way, 2.5-second lead over Jeff Burton. The inaugural Las Vegas 400K has been everything that we hoped it would be. We've seen some great
Jeff Gordon,
racing, and
18th.
the best thing is,
He has not had a great car.
car into the wall. Let's hope we don't have it the rest of the way.
And Ricky Rudd is still running. He's now in a 12th spot. And his car is struggling just a little bit. But so far this year, his average finish is 40 seconds. So
Oof.
really needs this one.
Yeah, that's after a 42nd place.
Well, it'd be 41st, 43rd then, first two races.
At Rockingham. So Ricky Rudd, perhaps.
Man, somebody's really slow on the bottom. Who is that? It's Joe Nemechek. What's he putting around for? I thought he pulled it into the garage earlier.
The third place car is Rusty Wallace. On board with him.
Didn't he have a mechanical issue earlier in the race? He was so slow.
And 11 seconds behind Jeff Burton.
Like I said, NASCAR doesn't give any Fs at this time. Do whatever you want. There's no rules. What are rules?
Lake Speed has had a struggle today in the Cartoon Network car. He's 3 laps down in 30 seconds.
This is the first Plus Financial onboard camera right along with Lake Speed.
I'll tell you what, people complain about it not looking professional every now and then. In today's age, this race has been all over the place with officiating.
Onboard camera.
The guys missing half of pit road and still taking their stop, gaining time. We saw a spin and no caution. Ricky Craven literally spun 10 laps into the race on a mile and a half. There was smoke. They didn't throw a caution.
Coming into this race, he and Rusty Wallace were the only two drivers to finish in the top 10 in both the races so far, so he may have a third consecutive.
Racing back to the line, almost had a pile up too on one of the cautions.
Greg Sachs back in 25th spot. This is the Thorn Apple Valley. Premium meats on board camera.
Johnny Benson spinning out.
Gilman, the crew chief.
Guess it was legal. I mean, if it was legal for Jeff Bodine, I guess it was legal for Johnny Benson.
5 for leading the lap, 5 more for leading most laps.
Now to Jerry Punch.
I just spoke with Jack Roush and asked him about the vibration in the 6 car. And he said, Doc, what we're seeing is the vibration fluctuates with the RPMs of the engine. So what has us concerned is on our last pit stop as it came down pit road, we saw a puff of smoke out of the car. We are hoping it will hold on for 4 more laps. We're watching the Tabasco Hot Zone telemetry.
Run until she blows. Got 4 laps left. I think they were talking about a transmission issue, though, earlier in the race. Because they had all that stuff on standby in case they were going to have to change it mid-race. I wonder if maybe that could be potentially where the smoke, the reason for the smoke.
I think was the fastest there.
That's not too bad. He should get more speed down the front stretch as he comes by and goes by the start.
I mean, he's not going to have to shift anymore.
Ready to go. 165 as he accelerates. Flyers only down to 170 going in that corner. It's changed. Does the wind change? No. The wind still come. I thought maybe wind direction had changed, but Mark Martin going by Kenny Schrader, putting Schrader one more lap down.
Schrader's now 2 laps down, running in 20th position. Mark Martin has those left side tires way down under that white line.
I wonder how big of a lead he's opened it up to.
Coming up on 2 laps to go. The white flag.
I mean, Mark Martin kind of dominated the final roughly 30-40 laps of this race, but up until then, it was a pretty great race. And honestly, who knows if Dale Jarrett would have had a shot still.
Maybe he's slowing down.
Blowing that engine. Oh, this is the last lap? I had no clue this was the final lap.
Mark is in turn number 4, coming onto the tri-oval.
That's it?
At the white flag,
oh, he's getting the white flag.
And he wins the inaugural Las Vegas 400.
Wait.
It'll be his 23rd career.
No, that was the checkered flag. Wait.
Let's see what happens.
No, I don't know. This is all over the place. It is the final lap. Yeah, he's fine. I think he's just coasting, hoping it would make it to the end by not pushing it.
Indeed is coming on strong, but I'm not sure he's got.
Yeah, Mark's doing this intentionally.
Mark
saving the car.
Turn number 4. Here he is. The crowd is on its feet cheering for the winner of the inaugural.
Mark wins it. I gotta say the coverage of this race wasn't great, but the race itself was pretty good. It was a good race.
Mark Martin has his 23rd career win.
The coverage and the officiating were not too good, but the race itself, the racing we saw, pretty good. I liked it.
Here's Jerry.
Well, Jack Roush, by our calculations, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 10th, 5 Roush cars in the top 10. What a day.
Well, that's what we set out to try to do. You know, I know that's been awful greedy, but everybody's worked hard. This thing ebbs and flows. You know, you wind up doing better than you should for a while. Normally it seems like you don't do nearly as well as you should. It all kind of come together. I'm sure we'll pay a price for this in the races that upcome, you know, but I'm really proud for Steve Meal, who was the first guy on here with me, and of course Mark and Buddy Farron and everybody else is here now. Jimmy Finnick did a great job.
Why does Jack Roush kind of look like Mark Martin now?
Having to work together. We thought we had a little bit of a vibration that we worried about. We need to have.
I feel like Mark Martin now looks like Jack Roush back in 1998.
And then of course we had a little smoke as we left the pits the last time, which gave me a concern. But,
does anybody else see the resemblance, or is it just me?
Race car driver that we all think he is. You know, he showed it again today, and we're just.
At least with the hat and glasses on, you can't really see his eyes.
Jeff Burton and Mark Martin. I'll tell you, we're up to Jeff Burton's pits, and what were you telling those guys?
You know, those guys were far enough away from one another. Like, didn't think
Mark
they could
Martin
run
with the
into
win.
one another.
I knew he had the
This is my
win,
11th year in
but I had
Winston
no
Cup
clue
racing.
what
The
happened the rest of
first
this
time
race.
I
But
felt
now I
like
know.
Something happened to my car, which was in the lead.
A lot of pandemonium, I'll tell you that.
I was feeling a little smug about that toward the end.
Jack, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you, sir.
Jack
Found out there was a
5 of
flip
his
in
cars,
practice.
All 5 of his cars in the top 10. What a day for Roush Racing, Bob.
Indeed, and Mark Martin heads for victory lane for the first time since...
By the way, these races are super quick without
There too to talk with
having to
them
sit
when we
through the
come back.
commercials themselves. I mean, this stream was like barely over 2 hours. You watched the full race.
Vegas,
And I paused it a couple different times.
At Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
There you go, Mark.
Martin wins the inaugural event. Here's our McDonald's Winner's Circle interview in Jackaroo.
Well, Mark, you are so you always downplay your luck, you downplay your chances, but you told your crew, you told Benny Urtel, you told anybody who wanted to listen, today was going to be your day.
Let me tell you something. God answered my prayers today. We had problems today, and I didn't think we were going to make it. I just didn't think we were going to make it, and you know, I just prayed for you know, for it to be His will, whatever, and that I would accept it if it broke. But I was going to go out leading, and that's when I stepped on it, went to the front. I got to thank. It's my chance to talk now, and I got to thank Buddy Parrott and Bobby Hudson and everybody at Roush Racing for giving me this opportunity and building this brand new race team. Valvoline, Cummins, Bugle, Bosch, Ford, Goodyear tires worked awesome. Eagle One, our new on board this year, new sponsor on board. These guys are awesome, and we made a change over the winter, and I was afraid people were going to say that I did the wrong thing. We did the right thing, man. We ran awesome last week, and it was even better this week.
Let's talk a little bit about the mindset. When you had that vibration, as mysterious as it was, you know, what do you do as a driver? You just kind of threw caution to the wind and said, I'll accept your will, God, and just put the pedal to the metal.
Well, that's what I had to do with it. You know, I want to move up in the points so bad after leaving Daytona, 38th in the points, and I would love to win. It can kill me, you know. I mean, I can let it break me in half, and I just decided, no, this is God's will. If it breaks, that's what He meant for me today. And I want to say, Matt, we won, buddy.
Matt, of course, his son, and Jack Roush giving the congratulations. And Bob, maybe the best way to describe this team right now is what this guy said over the radio to that guy right there after the checker flag. He said, hey, we're going to be tough the rest of the year.
I think that's a given. 4 wins in 1997 and a win already in 98 for Mark Martin. And not only that, he moves
Well, he
into
definitely
the top
was
10
tough
of
to
the
beat
point
that.
standings.
Only one man was able to do it, and that man's name was Jeff Gordon, who did not have a good finish in this race. He was pretty bad.
Jeff Gordon,
I mean, 3 races in, but 6th and 7th at points, Gordon and Martin. Rusty Wallace still leading in points. Solid day. I think he finished 2nd.
Thank you, John. Back at
Should get the
Las
full
Vegas
field running
Motor
order.
Speedway, and here's
There
a
we go.
look at
Oh,
the,
my bad. Jeff Burton
official
2nd.
total
Rusty finished 3rd. There's I'll pause it real quick so we can look at the top finishers. Yeah, spotlight of the day. Johnny Benson. I mean, he spun coming into the pits. Still finished 4th. Not to mention, he ended up having a flat tire very early in the race while he was contending. He led laps. When he had the flat tire, he ended up going a lap down. Then there was a caution. I think it was the 2nd yellow. He got his lap back, and then the caution came out for the final time, so he restarted towards the tail and drove all the way back up to 4th. The final green flag run went over half the race there at the end. Rick Mast had a pretty good finish, 11th, just outside the top 10. Jimmy Spencer ended up with 7th place run. He was nowhere to be found all race, but then they ended up taking 2 tires, and he cycled to the lead and actually led 28 laps before losing the lead. And pretty much that strategy call was what allowed him to get a good finish, because by the time he fell back, right about where he ended up finishing, he stayed there once they were able to take 4 tires. Same kind of goes for Dale Earnhardt. He was on that same strategy. He was outside the top 10 the whole race after that last caution. Took 2 tires, stayed up there in the top 5. Gordon tried that strategy as well, but he ended up falling back to like 20th, and then he worked himself back up to, like 18th, I think he finished, so 17th, somewhere around there. We'll see exactly where he finished.
Now, the bullets there on the
Jeff Bodine finished 13th. Missed pit road. Half of it was in the grass, and then came into the pits and didn't get penalized for it. Still finished 13th.
Close, but not close enough. A 2.5 seconds behind in 2nd spot.
Hendrick did not have a good day at all. Ricky Craven spun early. Terry Labonte ended up 15th, Jeff Gordon 17th. Yeah, it just wasn't a good day for HMS. Dale Jarrett blew an engine late in this race, like very late. Final, 25, 30 laps. Right around second or third.
Let's go down to the pit area for some interviews. Bill Weber.
With the third and fifth place finishers in the race, and Rusty Wallace, you and Jeremy are first and third in points. First of all, talk about your day.
Well, it's a great day. We had a good car all day long. We led a bunch of laps today.
It is crazy how they're talking about points this early in the year. Like, people complain about them talking about the playoffs, second, third race of the season. Even back in 1998, though, they were still talking about the point standings, third race of the year.
We got some more points for
I mean, it's so important, though, especially this time period, to get off to a good start so you're not having to play catch-up second half of the year.
That's right. We got to keep
very few drivers have won the championship having to come back from a deep deficit second half of the season. So how you start does dictate where you finish majority of the time. Not all the time, but
we got close today.
You have to have a good start. Got to put a full season together. And obviously it starts with the first race of the year, leading up all the way through the first handful of races.
You had a great day, Jeremy Mayfield.
It sure did.
So that's going to end tonight's stream. We will watch an Old Phoenix race next week. It'll be a spring race from Phoenix, and if it's a race from when they only had one race there a year, then it could just be that race that season. But I'm not sure what years I'll have in the poll yet, but you can vote on Monday. As every Monday, you can vote for which race we will watch. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe also for more daily NASCAR content. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Looks like we got 35 likes on the stream, so appreciate it, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night, though. We'll be doing live commentary the next 3 nights for the NASCAR race weekend. Truck Series tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, Xfinity Series will go live at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for the start of that race, and then we'll go live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday for the Cup race for a pre-race on that one. So, appreciate it. We got a triple header this weekend. Can't wait. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Thursday night, everybody.